Hi folks, this is Vincent Natalie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and once again we're going to check out 5D chess with Multiverse Time Travel. So Idalie's going to take a back seat today. I don't think she enjoys the game, but only because you're just not at all familiar with how the pieces move. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, and I'm not like very good at chess, so I like seeing you play though, because
Uh-huh.
it's like a teaching thing.
And for the record, folks, I'm still a noob. Oh, and by the way, I was just schooled on the correct spelling of noob off camera. I was advertising this channel, and I said noob about to stream on Twitch, and I gave my link, and then I typed in NOOB, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, it's NEWB
Mhm.
because NOOB noob implies trolley is I'm old. I didn't know that was a thing. So okay. So I just for the record, folks, in case you're ever wondering about the correct spelling of noob and when to use it, apparently NEWB is a more friendly version of noob, and NOOB is a trolley version of noob. But
Yes.
okay, got it
If
down.
anybody calls you an NOOB, then that's an insult.
I see. All right. Well, in that case, I'm just going to go ahead and play against the computers. And you said you would just want to watch, right?
Yeah, I'll
But
watch.
feel free to comment, ask questions, and I
Mhm.
can't promise that I'll be able to answer them. But all right, let's go CPU. And I kind of liked the. Can't remember which one I was playing earlier. Is it small open? Maybe. Let's check that one out.
So you don't like the puzzles as
Not
much, you like the
that one.
skirmishes?
Say what now?
You like the skirmishes instead of like the
I
puzzles?
like both. The puzzles are a good learning tool, I think.
Mm.
Um, it's just it locks you into you have to think this is how you have to think this is how you complete the puzzle within so many moves. So it makes you think about how the pieces could move.
Mhm.
Whereas in an actual game, I can actually try out different things to see what works and what doesn't.
Mhm.
I think what was I playing? Was it Simple Timeline, Misc Timeline Invasion? Let's try that one. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, I was playing this in the previous stream. So already you can see there's two boards. There's one with 10 of my pieces on it, and then one with 5 of my pieces on it. And I'm trying to get my pieces to checkmate the enemy king on the other board, assuming it stays there.
I would have rage uninstalled right
Yeah,
now.
Rage uninstalled already? Wow. That bad, okay. So we'll figure this out. All right. So let's get our bishops in a position to come out. I kind of don't want to move any pawns in front of my king or anything like that, just to keep this protected. But I do want to get my bishops out and about. So we'll do that there. And again, I want to try and limit him. Let's see. Maybe we'll just do something like that. Okay. So his knight is already threatening this pawn here and this pawn here, so there's a good chance that I'll be losing one of them. And then he moved his pawn up there. Alright. So, is there anything I can do to protect either of these? I think I can move the bishop up there, like so, to this other board, and that would protect both. However, I'm a little concerned because he could move his pawn up. No, this pawn here, and that would attack my bishop here and pin it. And I wouldn't be able to move in. I wouldn't be able to do anything with it. So I need to find a different way to protect both of those pawns, if at all possible.
You could grab his. Oh no. Never mind.
What were you thinking?
I was gonna say you could grab his knight with your white knight.
This one here? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's not how the time travel. Well, that's not how the
Oh, that's right. That's
board
right.
jumping.
Because you're board jumping once, it minuses a move. Like,
Correct.
yeah, I see. I
Yeah,
see.
if you look where the green spots are, on
Mhm.
my current board, I can move in the typical L shape and finish here.
Yep.
But on the other board, I move up 2 spaces and then I jump to this other board, this other timeline, and I end up here, and that's bad. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
that makes sense.
So
That makes sense.
I'll let him take 1 of my pawns, I guess. I'll just go ahead and just start doing that, and then over here, I guess we'll apply as much pressure as possible. If he were to take this pawn, there's not much I can do about it. I could actually... I wonder if I could bring my bishop over one to take it. That's a thought. You know, I'll push this one forward in the middle. Or, you know what? No, let's do that one. I'll submit. Okay. So he moved his knight back, which was interesting. My thinking is that if he took my pawn here on c1, I might have been able to play bishop to e1 on this other board here because it would have been occupied by the enemy now. So I could have played like bishop takes knight had he taken this pawn. Again, bishops typically move diagonally, but when they're moving across boards like this, they give up one of their orthogonal spaces to jump over to another board. So I'm thinking, or I could have maybe played king takes as well, but I really don't want to bring my king over to a board where he has a ton of pieces. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like whoever made this game was really, really high.
Really high. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. I don't know. Like, at first I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then the more I played it, the more I'm like, you know what? I can see where this is going. You know what I mean? But, all right. Now, some of my thoughts were bishop takes pawn, but he could play, I'm pretty sure, bishop on the upper board here takes bishop on this board, and I don't think I want to make that exchange. So this looks like a hanging pawn, but again, he's got pieces on the other board protecting it. So I may just try and get, I don't know, maybe this other bishop out and about. Maybe I'll do something like this, or I can push this pawn up, try and get my knight out. And then
if you push that up, he can take it, right?
Yeah, he could play pawn takes pawn. I could then play knight takes pawn.
But then he can travel his... Oh, no, he can't. No, he can't. I keep forgetting.
Which piece were you thinking of?
I keep thinking, like, his knight can move to take your pawn on the other
Yeah, not
board,
in this
but
case.
He cannot.
Yeah, he would at best move here.
In the,
See
the
where my
first column?
Yeah, he would either move here or over here, because he would be jumping. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and limit. I'm just going to keep my pawns nice and chainy. Yeah, and then submit. And he's moving his king. Whoa, okay, so he moved his king back in time to this other board, and then that split into a third timeline. Now, any timelines that he creates from here on out won't matter because I have not created one yet. I have not created my own timeline. He could create as many timelines as he wants, but they're just going to keep... They're going to be, I think, black arrows because I think the way it works is you can't have more than 2 active timelines more than your opponent, if that makes any sense. Like, if you were to create one right now, it wouldn't matter until I created one myself. Because I have not created any timelines yet. He has. So if he continues to create timelines, then I have to create timelines if I wanted to for his to matter. It's difficult to explain in words, but... All right, well, anyway. So he moved his king there, and that created this timeline. Now, this does matter because it's a purple arrow. I think what I'd like to do is just... now, I could play pawn takes pawn here. Now, that... I wonder if that rook could jump... I don't know if it could. We're going to try. We'll just take it. Now, one thing I noticed in this game is that whenever you promote a pawn, it always becomes a queen. It's in regular chess, you can actually choose bishop, knight, rook, queen. You can actually down promote a pawn to a different piece if you wanted to.
Why would you even want to?
There are some situations where it might cause a stalemate. So, for example, if you promote your pawn and the enemy king is the only thing left, and if you happen to promote your pawn to a queen, it's possible that might cause a stalemate. So maybe then you may want to take a rook instead, so that you wouldn't stalemate the enemy king. Stalemate is when it's a draw, that the enemy king can't move. So, but in this game, it looks like the queen is always, when a pawn is promoted, it's always a queen, which is interesting.
This is just so big brain.
I don't know about that. Now, notice that I don't have to make any moves on this board here because it's not, the present has not caught up to it yet. Whenever he moved his king back in time, the present kind of took a step back, so to speak, and now we're back along this column. I do not, even though it's my turn on this board, I don't actually have to move anything there yet. And I don't think I'm gonna, because this is a stalling board, I think. I need to just stall as long as possible on this board. So I'm not going to do anything with it. And then we'll just hit submit moves and see how this works out for us. Oh, that's checkmate. All right, now let's see. I guess that would make sense, because, yeah, my bishop here hits that. Yeah, so that... All right, well, that takes care of that. Let's try a full game. Let's try an actual bigger board. Alright. So, we'll do standard. Okay, so it looks like I'm white this time. Alright, so now we're down to one board. This is the standard chess that we all know and love. Let's do queen pawn, just because queen pawn. Interesting. Alright. Normally I'd play queen's gambit, and that's pawn to queen bishop 3, but with this chess being the way it is, I want to play a bit more closed. So I'm going to go ahead and just move the knights out. Interesting. We'll take bishop takes. Pawn up. Gotta wonder. If I were to move my bishop back in time here, that would create a new timeline and attack that king. I don't think there's anything he could do about that. Let's try... I think that's checkmate. Let's try it. We're going to move this back here. Oh, here comes the special move. Drum roll, please.
Crazy.
Oh, he could get out of it, but he had to move his king off of that board up here. Now, here's the thing, though. Huh. Okay. So now there's this timeline up here where there's two of them. I need to put as much pressure on these kings as possible. I'm going to probably play a knight up there to check them. And this is the present, so technically I don't have to do anything with these other boards right now. So I'll let these other boards catch up with themselves. Or I'll let the present catch up. Alright, so now I've got to move this one here, the top one and the bottom one. I don't have... What I'd like to do maybe is move a piece from this board and move it up there, since he's got two kings over there. This bishop... I'm thinking... By moving that, no. Okay, so if I move it to this board, it would move there. If I move it to this... No, I don't think... That's not the piece to move. This knight, on the other hand... I could move it from this board over to this board. Like so. It would move one space up. Reason being, again, a knight moves in an L-shaped pattern. And it would move here, or here, or here, or here, typically. But jumping one board, that would be one less space. And then jumping another board would be even one less. So I would be moving one space up, basically. And that would continue the check there. So I think we'll jump over there. Try and get pieces over here to attack that king. And then we'll submit our moves. Alright. So now we've got 3 boards to mess with. This is the board I want to try and checkmate him on if I can do it. The question is...
Do you find the CPU, like, doing actual intelligent moves?
And on this... Alright, there's 2 answers to that. One is, if I were to play a standard game of chess with the weak trainer... without any time jumping or anything, he's easy to beat. But when it comes to the time jumping, I'm still new to time jumping and switching boards and dimensions. So that part of it is something I need to work on. You know what I mean? So, if he did not do any time jumping, I could have him mated probably within 4, 5, 6 moves. I can do, Scholar's Mate, which is Bishop and Queen, and more than likely he wouldn't stop me from doing it, just because he's a weak trainer. But when it comes to time jumping, like I said, I think it's a bit more difficult.
I see.
In my opinion. All right, so I'm trying to think of different ways to attack him on this board by bringing another piece over there. I'm just not exactly sure how to go about doing it. I want to keep up the advantage if I can. I'm thinking about bringing this queen pawn out, or king pawn out, so that I could then bring my queen up to rook 5, or h5, I guess, and then if you're doing algebraic, and then put pressure there, but then pawn up, that wouldn't really matter. Well, no, because then knight takes pawn, pawn takes, queen takes, and then it's pinned, assuming that no other piece anywhere else could stop me from doing that. Or is it just better maybe to move a piece from another board? Oh, okay, so this is interesting. I could move this knight from this board up here, so I could have 3 knights on one board just going to town. That would actually be mate unless he can do anything about it. Just because I've never seen a knight with a mate with 3 knights before, but he can't move here because of the pawn. He can't move forward because of this knight. He can't move here, can't move here. The knights have everything covered. So unless he has a way to stop me a different way, like if he can take this piece, I have to wonder if this pawn can take that. No. I think the way the pawns work in this game is that they only move toward the center. And the center timeline is this one here. So I don't think this pawn could actually move away from the center timeline. So I think I'm safe to do that. It's possible the king could jump into a different timeline again. Yeah, I was just saying that, Airsick. Yeah, he could still jump into the middle timeline. I want to try it out anyway, just to see what he does. I love the time jumping. And on this board, I think we just need to continue getting our pieces developed. This bishop, for example, is in danger. Let's see if we can't just get it out of there. Or better yet, I could just move this pawn up, knight takes bishop, queen takes, and I could have my queen developed. And then my queen may be attacking the king in the past, if that were to happen. All right, well, let's do that. We'll set up a trap. If he plays knight takes bishop, and then I play queen takes bishop on this board, this queen could attack this square in the past, because there is a free line of sight here, and I think that would work. I guess we'll find out. All right, submit moves. Okay, he's jumping stuff. All right, what did he just do?
Oh my goodness.
He jumped his... Okay. What did he just do?
What
okay.
is the hit? Is there like a log?
That's one thing I would like to see as a log. Like, like a notation area. That would be cool. It looks like he moved a piece from here back in time here. For what purpose? Not exactly sure. Oh, he's delaying mate. This board is no longer in the present with these 3 knights. Yeah, I can see why people would still be trying to notate the game. What would be cool is if each timeline on the game itself had maybe T1 for timeline 1, and then or timeline 2 or timeline 3, or maybe this is timeline 0, and then white pieces the white boards would be timeline 1, 2, 3, and the black ones going away from center would be -1, -2, -3. I don't know how you guys do it, but I'm thinking original timeline is T0, white pieces T+1, then T+2, T+3 as you go down, and then blacks would be T-1, T-2, T-3. Oh, look to the right of the present. Does it actually say it? Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, all right. Yeah, it was hard to see, but yeah, there's a little L here, and then there's -1L. Okay, so I just reinvented I invented something that the developer had already invented. Looks like he went with the negatives and positives on that one. I see it.
What the heck do those mean?
It just means L is the original timeline.
Oh, okay.
L is the original timeline. The way to notate it, +1L means 1 down in white's direction, and the -1L is 1 timeline in black's direction. Yeah, no, isn't that crazy though? Like, I didn't see that. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I think these need to be labeled better. Like, this -1L is very difficult for even this L here is very hard for me to see. So I would love to see, like, I don't know, this be a black text. Well, I guess both could be black text, and it wouldn't hurt anything. All right. So all he did was delay the inevitable, because on this board, this is in the future. All I have to do is get all of these other boards to catch up with this board in the present, and that would checkmate him, I'm pretty sure. So I just need to, I guess, stall at this point. I just will play bishop takes pawn. And now, in theory, now he'll be in check again, unless he moves this through time again. He can't. Okay, so... Oh, interesting. So, I'm actually attacking the king in the past, which is why he can't jump through time. Let's take a look at that. So, if you take a look here, I checked the king in the present here. However, this knight, the one that's not actually doing the checking, the one that's on e5, is... Where's the king at? Where's it attacking? Here. Okay, so yeah, I'm attacking one space up. So if we go backward in time, this knight jumps there, and then he... Okay, that makes sense. Wow. Like, that... They're like what I would call happy accidents in this game, where you make a move, you attack the king, you checkmate him, but then the game's like, well, no, the piece that you attacked with didn't actually checkmate him. It was this piece over here that you didn't even think about that did the checkmating. You know what I mean? And it was because you're attacking the king in the past. Like, that's the stuff that really make me go, that's really cool. I wasn't thinking about it, but yeah. Yeah, let's do another one. That was quite fun. All right, finish then. Bob Ross chess. I don't know about that. Queens cause so many happy accidents. I agree with that. Queens are pretty powerful in this game. I mean, I guess they should be, considering they're queens. All right, we'll do another one.
It'd be kind of cool if we could change, like, the background of the...
Change the background? Table. Yeah, I unfortunately, I can't change the options from here. We'll try it. We'll try it after this game. We'll do pawn to king 4 this time. I want to see if he's susceptible to Scholar's Mate. I just want to see... Oh, I guess I can't do it since he's done that. Oh, that's a weird choice. I just want to see if he stops me. That's interesting. Yeah, see, like I said, in the standard chessboard, on the Wii Trainer, the AI is pretty weak. But when it comes to jumping through time, that's the part that's like, huh. That's the part that makes me think. Yeah.
Extreme early queen aggression. Wouldn't that be kind of...
It's risky.
Yeah, like nerve-wracking, since, like, maybe your queen could get stolen?
Well, at this point in the game, there's no alternate timeline. So, no pieces... Yeah, I mean, it's... I mean, you're right. You just have to be careful of where you put your queen. I'm the opposite, Ersic. Like, I try to put my queen... I don't try to put my queen out and about because I might miss something and get taken. You know what I mean? But that's just because I'm still new to the game and don't know what I'm doing. Like, if I were to do something like this, for example, that bishop might be able to go back in time and take my queen or something. So I'd rather do this with it. All right, so it looks like he jumped over to a different board. Interesting. All right, so now we've got 2 boards where he's got 2 kings again. I guess that makes sense. You can just jump back in time if it's in danger. Yeah. But that's the other thing. I try not to jump in time too much, because the more you jump through time, the more alternate timelines you create that may not matter. Because if your opponent decides not to make any alternate timelines himself, you're going to have all of these white arrows, or black, whatever color you are, pointing to boards that won't matter, because he refuses to create timelines. And so effectively you're dumping pieces into boards that don't matter. So I try to avoid time jumping unless absolutely necessary. Does that make any sense? I don't know. So I'm just going to do... now, again, if I play queen takes pawn here, is there anything that he could do to take my queen from... I don't know. Even if it did, it would branch off into a timeline that wouldn't matter. Because, like if I did this, for example, I don't think there's any way that he could take that queen from where he's sitting. I'll go ahead and do it just to try it. And if it happens, it happens. Oh, checkmate. Okay, so how did I checkmate the king? Let's see. I may have checkmated him in the past, possibly. Let's see what it's pointing at. Yeah. So, in the present, he could move his king down to d7, which is here. But in the past, this queen is attacking, if you look to the 2 boards to the left, it's attacking 1 space in every direction there in the past. And there's no way for him to take that queen in the present.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That is crazy, Erisic. Yeah, how long have you been playing? We'll do another one. Oh, you wanted to see the options menu real quick, hon?
Sure.
You got it Friday? Alright, so options menu, just real quick for those of you curious. Just enable sound, ambient, sliders. Yeah, it would be cool to see in the settings menu some way to contrast things a bit better, just to make the graphics look a bit, I don't know, like just the lettering on the notation a bit more clear. So I think this could use a buff, the settings menu. Alright, so we'll do another CPU match. Alright, so again, we'll try pawn to king 4. Alright, I gotta try this, even though it's probably silly. This queen... Okay, so the way that would work, if I moved my queen to h5... Again, I typically use descriptive notation, king, rook 5, instead of algebraic, but that's just me. Yeah, if I did this, the queen would be attacking... It would be attacking the... was it E, F, G? G6 space in the past, 1 board in the past, and then two boards later, and then 3... So, over time, this would be checkmate. If the queen were allowed to sit here without being removed, like so, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Now, since I moved, I have to move the queen now, so that wouldn't be mate, but interesting. All right. You know, let's play it safe there. I wonder if I could have moved the queen back in time to a point where it wasn't... That's a thought. What if I had moved the queen back in time?
Maybe.
Well, a little late now, but I guess I could still do it from where I'm sitting. According to this, the queen, again, when you're moving it 1 board back, it moves. It could move 1 space in any direction. assuming there's nothing blocking it. On this board, I could move it here, but then it just falls into the same trap. He could move that pawn up and block me, so there's really no point in doing that.
He could also catch it with his pawn, right? Like, can he go back in time and catch your queen?
I don't know about that, honestly. That's a good question. It's this is the part where I'm a little fuzzy, honestly. If he could, I think pawns take on the space that they're on. So
they don't capture back in time.
They typically on a normal chessboard, pawns attack diagonally, but when they capture through time, it's one space toward. They stay where they are, and if they do move, or not through time, but if they move. Let me rephrase that.
He said pawns capture across diagonal timeline.
Okay, diagonal timeline, which yeah.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's something that I'm not. I'm not there yet, honestly. All right, now let's do something like let's try and push this advantage over here. Let's just try and get some pieces out. All right, king's coming out. Yeah, that makes sense. They go up a timeline, then left or right one turn in time, capturing on the square they're sitting on. Yeah, I know pawns take where they are, and I think I was reading that pawns always move toward the current time, like the original timeline. So if black, for example, had a timeline up here, any pawn that would be taking anything through or jumping boards would have to move toward the original timeline. Just always up? Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe I read that wrong. Yeah, I'm looking at the community guide now. Let me see if I can read what the pawn said. I could have sworn I read... Where is it?
Timelines go on the bottom, so up is towards your opponent's timelines.
Yeah, I'll just copy and paste what... Yeah. Just to clear up any confusion on what I just said, because I am confusing. This is what I'm copying and pasting from the Steam from the Steam guide that I was reading. That's just interesting. Yeah, I like that. Alright, well, let's just keep going with it and see what happens. Let's clear out some of these pawns. Alright, and there's still only the one timeline, so we just have to play somewhat smart. Let's get develops there. This bishop is kind of crappy, considering most of his pawns are on dark spaces, so... I still want to bring it out, though.
Sheldon would love this game.
Sheldon? From Big Bang Theory? Yeah. Alright. Pawn takes pawn, bishop takes, queen takes. That's fine. What? What just happened? Okay, let's see what he just did. So he played queen...
All the way back.
All the way here, but why? What was the point of that? Just to do it?
You can capture it.
I can capture him. I just don't know why he did it. Like, what possible reason would he have for moving it there? I mean, and now we have to progress this board up to a point where it catches up to this one.
And that's why he's trying to delay time or something.
Maybe he's trying to delay. I don't know. But pawn takes. Here comes the knight. We'll take again. Oh, that's nice, Dub. It's a pretty good game.
Oh, thanks for the follow or sub.
I think it was a follow. Let me check my OBS. I have so many screens open right now. It's disgusting. Yeah, it was a follow. Thank you. Okay.
Did the sound come on?
It did. I have the sound on really low. Just
okay.
because the bits, they get like, if someone does one bit, it's a constant lightsaber battle, and it's like really annoying.
You can disable that, you know.
Yeah, I could. All right. Let's see if I can attack. I'd love to attack the king in the past if I could, just by. Like, there's a clear empty line here, except for this pawn. This pawn is blocking. Like, I want to move my queen to this square again, just so I can go backwards in time and attack the king through time. So I need to clear a way for that. Well, let's do that. How long have I been playing this? I cover a lot of games, so I've been playing it off and on for, I want to say, a week. I have about 5 or 6 videos on my YouTube channel. All of my streams I export to YouTube. So I did 2 or 3 videos on puzzles, and Idly and I covered one full game. It was like 2.5 hours long. She was time jumping all over the place. It was crazy. I was
trying to confuse him on purpose because I didn't know how to play. So I was confusing both of ourselves.
Yeah, well, you were breaking it. It actually reached a point where it was taking so long for the computer to think because yeah. All right, well, he has to jump through time now. There's no way he can stop that. Well, this actually might be mate because I'm attacking the king in the past. Not only am I checking it in the present, but I'm also attacking the king in the past, right? Because if we do, what is it? History view? I get my parallel views and my history views mixed up, but it would be this bishop would be, let's see, it would be attacking that space and then the king here. I'm pretty sure that would be checkmate if I were to do that because I'm attacking the king on this prior board. I think. No, but no, bishops move differently. That's right. They move up and left, so it wouldn't be. All right. I keep forgetting that bishops don't go diagonally through time. They go up or left or right. You know, they go orthogonally through time. Do you play ranked normal chess? It's been a very long time. I'm still going to check them anyway, but it's been a long time. When I was a kid, I played in tournaments. I was part of the United States Chess Federation. I won a couple of tournaments, but ever since I went into college, like, it just dropped off just because I didn't have time to play chess professionally anymore. So I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm like the best or good, even good anymore, but like, I know my way around a chessboard, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that could beat the crap out of me if I don't know. I have no idea what my rating would be if I were to play professionally now. I think when I was a kid, I was 13 or 1400, but that was back in the 7th or 8th grade. I don't know what it would be now. Or if the USCF, United States Chess Federation, changed their ranking system at all since then. Okay, so he did end up moving his king through time. But notice that this board now has a black arrow, so that timeline no longer matters. So he's basically dumping... He's dumping his kings into this timeline that doesn't matter.
But it can eventually matter, right?
If I were to create a new timeline myself, that timeline would then become purple, and that would matter.
And that's the only time that it would matter?
Correct.
Interesting.
See, he's created 2 separate timelines at this point. There's the original one here, and then there's the second one he created above it. And then now here's this, well, original timeline, first alternate that he did. Now there's the second alternate that he did. That one does not matter right now because I have not created one to offset that original first one. Does that make any sense?
No, but that's okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, I understand. But you could do queen h4 on the optional timeline, then branch on another. Or h5, rather. I could. Like, I could do that. But I would just rather be, that would be mate, wouldn't it? Attacking the king through time? Or would that be, that might actually be checkmate if I were to move my, if I moved my queen here, okay, and it were to move backward through time, which would be what? Here, then here, then here. I would be attacking the king in the past.
You could ping the king to the king?
On the optional timeline, you could pin the king to king. I could, but that rook would still just, that rook would just take it. And then, I see what you're saying. This queen, this queen, though, can't attack this pawn up here. Oh, no, it can't. This queen can't reach that pawn yet. It would be cool, though, if I could. If I were to able to get the other queen here, rook takes queen, queen takes, and then it would be a pin of two kings, and that's unavoidable. But I think this is the easier solution. If I played queen here, I'm attacking the king in the past on this prior board. I'm pretty sure it's a straight line getting to him as well. I'm pretty sure that's checkmate. We'll find out. Unless he can move to... You know what? This pawn... I wonder if he could play pawn takes queen to stop me from doing that. You know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm tempted to play queen takes pawn on this board to prevent him from possibly playing pawn takes queen over here. Does that make any sense? So
I'm getting more pasta. So
you're getting more pasta?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that queen here can actually reach this pawn up there. Like, I'm hitting... I clicked on this one, and it's not letting me reach this up here, this alternate timeline. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to play... Again, typically this would be a bad move, because rook takes queen. But I think that it's possible that this pawn would take this queen. This pawn here on rook 4, or I guess you guys would call it h5. And take that queen here. So, to stop me from checkmating him. So I'm thinking, take the pawn, get it out of the way, and I don't think he has any other way of using this board to help him stop that. That pawn can't take the queen? Why is that? Is it because it has to take diagonally? Is that what you mean? But your bishop blocks your mate. Well... I see what you're saying. This bishop here. Yeah, because if I move my queen here... Alright, let's undo the move. If I moved my queen here, right, it would move backward in time. Yeah, okay, so it would hit this bishop. Okay. So the bishop is blocking that. Interesting. I think I'm still going to do it, and then I'm going to move this bishop out of the way on the next move. Or, better yet... undo. Why don't I just play queen up here, right? And then that attacks the king. That attacks the king in the past. It's closer. So it would be one space, which would be... Let's undo that move. So if I did that, the queen would be attacking it here on this board. And again, I don't think there's anything that can be done to stop that. I have to wonder, though, if this bishop could move down and take the queen from this other board. What do you mean, time moves forward one turn? Oh, because he's no longer there? Is that what you're saying? That makes... Okay, I think I understand what you're saying, because... Well, I'm still attacking the king here, right? I'm getting my number of boards and confused, I think. It'd be cool if I could see... On this spot, this bishop could move down and take my queen. Okay. It's 1 turn away now, but after you make the move, it'll be 2 turns away. I think I see what you're saying. All right, so this is the part of the game that still has me befuddled. Like there's a lot of whenever you make the move, it'll be technically 2 turns away or 1. Like I have the right idea, but my timing is off. If I were to do this, right? I was thinking I could attack the king in the past, but like you said, by then, okay, yeah, that would not have worked. I need to move to a spot to where I can attack the king in the past before he jumped. So I need to get my queen here, I think, and then move my bishop out of the way in a future one. So I'll play it safe on this one. No, you're fine, Ersic. I'm learning. Just understand that I'm not good at this as some other people. So yeah, I may not fully understand what you're saying right away. That's all. I'm trying to continue putting pressure on him, though. Now, again, pawns take 5D pawn capturing. They take diagonal? No, they take on the same spot. So I am worried, can't this pawn here on h5, excuse me, h5 take my queen on this board? Couldn't he jump this piece over to here and take my queen? I don't mind, honestly, I don't mind backseating when people are respectful about it. It's the people that, the problem with certain backseat drivers is that they demand, they get mad at you, they rage quit when they don't do what you want. Those are the people that I can't stand. It's the respectful people like you and other people that I've met that can give advice without sounding like my life depends on it, on me following exactly what they say. Like, I'm building a nuclear reactor and I'm going to kill myself if I don't do it exactly the way they want to. Those are the people I have problems with. Have to capture +1, -1. All right. Oh, because it's on the same okay, I think. We'll give it a shot, see what happens. And I'm going to move my bishop. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move this pawn. I'm trying to continue putting pressure on him if I can. Let's get... I'm trying to find a spot where... Like, his king is here in the past. Is there any way I can attack it? What if I moved queen here? And that would attack this square in the past, and then this square. So is it possible that this is checkmate? Because here, unless there's a way for him to take me. Yeah, so let's try that. I'm pretty sure that's a checkmate. Okay. That works, yep. Okay. One of them was bound to work. It was just which one, you know? Yeah. Cool. And I have the side effect of attacking this optional board up here, which I wasn't even looking at. But that works too. On the more complicated games, it looks like a John Madden playbook thing where you've got circles and arrows all over the place. It's ridiculous. Alright. I guess we'll try again. Oh, this time I'm black. Interesting. Okay. Wow, can he really be that silly? If he plays pawn to knight 4 here, king's knight 4, I'll laugh. That's fool's mate, if I can swing that. If I can get a queen in the middle, it feels like you'll... Yeah, because you're attacking all those different spaces into the past. I can see why that would be. That's really cool. Let's just get some knights out here. Like, I want to bring my queen up, but I'm not confident enough yet. As a chess player, what separates the good players from the bad players is the ability to think ahead and not make mistakes. Like, I'm trying not to put my queen into a position where it could be taken somewhere else, just because I'm not confident enough yet with the time jumping or the board jumping, dimension jumping mechanics. It's mate on h4 either this move or next move. If I do that, though, couldn't he just play pawn forward? I mean, let's see how that works. So let's just think about that. So the queen, I'm black, so I would be attacking. Is there a better view for this? History view, maybe? Okay, so this board here, I would be attacking. Which one would I be attacking? Would I be attacking this one on this, and then this one, and then this one? I guess that would be. Yeah, alright, let's try it. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, okay. That's a fool's mate, just in the past. That's interesting. So it works queen. Okay, so there's a quick look at how it moved. So from here, if I hover my anyway, I hate that it automatically zooms. I'm trying to hover over this and see everything. Maybe parallel view, history view. Yeah, there's no way for me to hover over this queen and then move. Oh, there we go. So one board in time, it moved there, and then here, and then here. Wow, interesting. Okay. Cool. I'll try a regular game this time. I can't guarantee I'll win it, but I'm curious to see how badly the computer is going to kick my tail. Okay, let's play defensively. Queen forward, interesting. All right. That could be a good... well, I wouldn't be able to get over this. I was thinking take his queen in the past somewhere, but this pawn is blocking that from happening. Alright, again, let's just play... That's not a move I would make. Okay. Scotch opening, pawn queen 4, pawn takes, queen takes. It's out in the open, nice in the middle there, in a good position. I'm thinking that's the right move. Oh, look at that. Let's see, pawn takes. I mean, if he takes back with the knights, bishop takes or knight takes. I would do knight takes because that would put pressure on the queen. Yeah, I guess I'll play pawn takes. I could play knight takes now, and then knight takes, bishop takes. But I kind of want to... yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Bishop there, pinning that bishop. More than likely it would be an exchange. I don't see a reason to exchange bishops right now. Pawn takes pawn, queen takes. He's in a better position. I don't like that. I'd rather him take this than me take him on the C rank. I can move my knight forward and put pressure on the F pawn. At some point, if this pawn ever moves, this bishop and knight will have a clear line on this. A part of me also just wants to cancel or castle kingside to get out of there, but then knight to G4 would put pressure there. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like. Because this open file here, I don't like to move my king pawn if I can help it, because he could attack my king in the past, and that's bad. Yeah, I totally get you. Absolutely. What I may do is play it safe. Maybe bishop, just support my pawns this way. I'm not ready to castle kingside yet. Reason being, if it were me and I castled right now, if I were black, I'd be using my rook, knight, and queen to force pawns over here to, to open up a line, and that would be bad. So I think I want to castle queenside, where I've got more options, more safety. Well, in this case, I can move my knight up. No. I can move my queen up, and then possibly get it out there. Pawn forward. That doesn't really do much for me. I have a feeling this queen file is going to open up at some point. I can move my queen up, then castle queenside, get a rook and a queen on that D file, and when those pawns clear, I may have an open road straight down the middle there to do something. So we'll go ahead and move our queen up there. Okay, that's interesting. So I have to, if I retreat the bishop, he's just going to play pawn forward here on the C file, pinning or forking my bishop and queen. So I have to take now. Question is, do I want to take with my bishop or my knight? I'll take with my bishop, because I've got a queen that could do the same thing. So I'll just do that. Submit. Okay, now what? Bishop takes bishop. Forcing. That doesn't make any sense. Pawn takes pawn. Queen. Yeah, the queen is... Okay, that's a no-brainer there. Yeah. Fine. Alright, his knight has moved down. Not much to worry about. Worst case scenario, knight takes bishop, pawn takes knight. And this is... Yeah, so this knight really... I could play h3 right here and push him right back. But then now he's putting pressure on this pawn here. Knight takes pawn... Knight takes knights, queen takes, and I lose that exchange. So I may want to move somewhere that would protect this pawn, or just push it forward, and that would pin his bishop. He'd have to do something about it. So pawn forward. If he plays pawn takes pawn, and I do pawn takes pawn. He could not play bishop takes pawn because this bishop is pinning his bishop here. So... Is there anything else he could do? The only thing I don't like about that is that it's opening up this diagonal. The knight and the queen attacking. It's not a big deal, I don't think. But... Okay. I guess that's fine. Okay. Pawn takes pawn. And now he's pinned. He can't do anything about that. Okay, so we took that. We'll play queen takes. Well, no time jumping or board jumping so far. That's interesting. I have a feeling he's going to whenever I get close to his king. If I play queen takes, that would check his king, and then I could castle queenside and get a rook on that file. And yeah, I like that. All right, so we'll do that. Although I kind of like my queen where it is, because then I could move over to the G space if I needed to. Over to G6. And put pressure over here. If I were to do that, would that be terrible? That's still a check. Where would he move? He could move forward. Yeah. But then he could probably time jump somewhere else. Let's just take evenly for right now. We'll worry about that later. I'll just do that check. Checkmate. Interesting. So I guess from here, again, this is another happy accident. I'm thinking I attacked the king in the past from where I'm sitting. So this queen here is attacking... let's see. It was on this board, right? So it would be... I don't know where it starts from. Let's hit the... I'm attacking the king along that diagonal in the past, I think. Wait a minute. What is this crazy? So I'm not. It's the bishop. Look at that. Look at that. That is ridiculous. Okay, so this, again, the queen did nothing. The queen had nothing to do with it. This bishop that's been sitting here this entire time, one spot to backward in time, another spot backward in time, and I guess at some point this was not here. So that just happened to work out. That is so crazy. So here, if I hover over it, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so if you follow the green spaces, there, that's the whiteboard. Then here, then here, then here. That, again, I was not expecting that. Wow. That is crazy. It just so happened that, yeah. Well, that's it. That's mate. That is something else. Let me tell you. That was on normal or on regular. All right, I'm kind of game for another one just to see what other chaos we can create. All right, let's go with the queen opening. Submit. Queen's Gambit maybe. Now that would expose this diagonal. I don't think that's a good idea. Let's get like openings that reveal a lot, like Queen's Gambit would create a very open environment. And that Queen's Gambit is pawn to queen, bishop 4, pawn takes, pawn to king 4, bishop takes pawn in the future, and you've got 2 central white pawns there. But in 5D chess, that opens up so many spaces around the king right out of the gate, and I'm not comfortable doing that. Yeah, I think closing the diagonal is better than opening things up like that. Alright, well, submit. Oh, he's getting his queen out already. Look at him go. Again, let's just play defensively and try and let him make mistakes. That's weird. If he's stuck there, I could play. I typically don't push my H pawns or my rook pawns, I should say, but I wouldn't mind moving it 1 forward just to stop him from controlling this square with his knight. He's kind of just stuck there, so I'm just gonna play defensively. Do that. All right, bishop forward. Yeah, in this case, I want to get this bishop out. Maybe. It's not doing anything there. I don't like that. I suppose in the future I might be able to like put it back in time and take this one G pawn, but this bishop is protecting that. All right. I could play pawn to G3 and then bishop out to G2 and then castle. I could do that. Castle kingside. I kind of want to keep a pawn structure going though, so I want to get this bishop out and then move my e-pawn forward by 1. Get this bishop out of here. Yeah. Let's just see what he does with that. Okay. Well, let's just keep doing what we were going to do. Pawn forward. Okay. Now I have a line on this h-pawn. Or no, b-pawn, rather. So I could do knight takes or bishop takes. Bishop takes would pin him. If he plays bishop takes bishop, then knight takes, putting pressure on the queen. That is one option. But then we've got this issue here. I'm tempted to take with the queen pawn. I could play knight takes here. I am concerned about leaving that bishop hanging with no protection. This knight currently is protecting this bishop. If I play pawn takes pawn here, that opens up the d file. And now I'm putting pressure on knight and queen on the d pawn. So I might play queen pawn takes. And I'm still putting pressure on the enemy queen. Pawn takes queen on the next move. So I think that's still relatively safe. But again, this kind of opens up this area here, and I'm not liking that. Alright, so we moved his queen over. From here, I mean, bishop takes pawn, bishop takes bishop, knight takes bishop, and then there's a possible fork, but then he's got this knight here protecting that. The other option is, if I move my queen to d3, and then put pressure here, knight takes. If he plays bishop takes, then queen takes. That would check him and just mess him up pretty good. Or I can force a queen exchange with queen takes pawn, or maybe not force it. But he could take my queen, I'd take back with my knight, and I've got a lot of position on him there. Lots of possibilities. The question is, which the better move? I want to get this bishop out of here so I can castle, I think. So we're going to play bishop takes pawn, and more than likely he'll take me back, and then I'll play knight takes, and then we'll see what happens from there. Yeah, okay, so knight takes. Alright, so he's moving his pawn. Not that he needed to, because his knight was protecting that pawn. I'm tempted to move it back. Just, again, to guard this area. That's a really juicy spot, that c7. If I can get his knight to move, then I can fork his rook, king, and queen all in one swoop. But the question is, how do I get his knight to move from there? What I could do, maybe, is push pawn to b4. If he plays pawn takes pawn, I can play pawn takes pawn, and then my rook is attacking his knight. If he doesn't do anything about it, I can play rook takes knight. If he plays queen takes rook, then I can play knight there and still fork him. So that's a lot of ifs, but I think I'd like to try it. Time travel the a pawn? What do you mean by that? My a pawn can't travel, unfortunately. There's nowhere for it to move to, because it's sort of stuck on its own spot. Whenever you move a pawn on the same timeline, it has to stay where it is, from my understanding. So from right here, like it's blocking itself across time. So I think we just need to do something like this. No, I forgot about the bishop. He's got a bishop there. He could check me doing that. Alright, so there goes that. Let's think about something else. Oh, thanks for the follow. Let me go back through my history here. PI is 3. Pi is 3. I get it. Zen Chess, thank you for following. And Vash MKS, thank you for following. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Let's see what kind of havoc we can create. I'm thinking about castling kingside just to get him the heck out of there, because he's open along this diagonal, and I'm not liking that too much. Let's get him out of there. We'll castle kingside and do that. All right, so he's moving his pawn up. He's going to put pressure on this side, probably. I want to get this D file clear. If I play pawn forward, he takes... There's no reason for that sacrifice. This bishop is doing jack right now. Tough choice. I could play it safe and maybe move my knight back and then put pressure on the d-pawn, forcing him to move forward. I can force an exchange. And possibly fork him. We'll see. If I did this, even though I'm putting pressure on c7, if I did this and he played pawn forward, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, I wouldn't... And then queen takes... Okay. Wow. It's always something. You know, let's get our rook on this file. I have a feeling that we're going to be using this soon. This is going to be opened up soon. Let's just get that in position. All right, that's interesting. You know what? I kind of want him to take this pawn so I can open this file up. But at the same time, this pawn, if captured, that'll lead to b2, and he'll just destroy me down here. So I kind of want to take with the bishop instead. I'll just do that. Interesting. Okay. Well, I kind of have to. Yep, figured he'd do that. On the plus side, with him messing around on this pawn down here, in theory, I could start putting pressure on his king here. Okay. Pawn up. Either way, it would be check next move. If he played pawn takes... or queen takes pawn here, pawn takes pawn, rook discovered check. He'd have to do something about that. But that wouldn't get me very far, I don't think. Again, I could play it safe and just play pawn forward for now. I think I might, reason being his bishop is on a dark color. And by me having pawns on all dark-colored spaces, that sort of neutralizes his bishop and prevents him from really doing anything with it. So I might just play it safe and do that for right now. And submit. Alright, let's come back. Alright, queen is there. Now let's think about... No. That queen is now there. Oh! Look at that. Okay. This is kind of a Hail Mary. I just want to see how this plays out. I think... No. Pawn takes... Okay, you know what? Let's see if he falls for it. I may be able to fork his queen and his king by moving knight to d6. If he somehow... If I can get this rook... Like, I'm looking to pin his bishop with my rook. If I can somehow clear that file, instead of going to c7, I could go to d6 and pin him that way. And then his bishop is pinned from my rook. We'll see... Again, this is a bad exchange for me, but I just want to see if he falls for it. All right, he took it. Now he has to take the other one. If he takes my knight, There's a lot of ifs there. What I'd like to do is get my queen out to do something else. What if I can't, no, I have to leave it there. I kind of have to waste a move. Maybe... No, because pawn forward here, at some point I'll be playing pawn takes pawn. Or pawn... Yeah, because he'll play... If he plays pawn takes knight, then I've got his queen. Assuming he doesn't do some time jump funky thing. I keep forgetting this is 5D chess and anything can happen, you know. Gotta leave my knight there. Maybe if we get our... If I put my queen here, I could move my rook over in the future. That would actually... No, it wouldn't be checkmate because his knight is there. Okay, let's do that. No, it's bad. Undo. Reason being, pawn takes queen. It wouldn't really be... Yeah, at that point, I'm putting my queen in unnecessary danger. Pawn takes knight, pawn takes queen. That's stupid. So, yeah, forget that. All right, well, let's just do that. Protect our back pawn. I just want to see if he takes my knight. He did. Okay, so we play knight to d6, check. Bishop is pinned from the rook. Now he's moving back in time. Interesting. Now he's got two kings on this board. Interesting. Fun stuff. Now, can we do something from here to attack his king in the past? Like this queen, for example, has a nice view of the D file. I wonder if I can just play the same trick on him. What if I let him take my knight in this timeline? And he makes the same mistake. Knight here, pin, attack his queen across. Yeah, that could work. I kind of want to move my queen here, though. So that if I move my knight in the future, it would be discovered check. Double discovered check in this case. Let's just see what happens with that. Now, in theory, I could move this... Well, maybe I should play on this board just to get his queen out of the way. And we'll submit that move. Interesting. Okay, so he jumped his queen over to this board to take my knight. So he still has a queen over here. Cool. Okay. Well, let's look at the present. He's got two kings over here. So all I really need to do is defend my king on this board. What I need to do, I think double discovered check is the way to go with this. If I play knight up here to c7, queen and knight are attacking that one king. Or if I move here, it doesn't matter where I move my knight. The fact that he's being attacked by two different pieces means that he can't take any of them. Like, he can't take both pieces at once. He's got to move a king. So I got to figure out where can I move my knight, here or here, that would be the most beneficial. I'm thinking here, so that I could take that knight later on. I'm not really concerned about the rook. All right, let's double discover check. Knight here, queen attacks the king, knight attacks the king. And that was just there. So what about the present? It's my move, so it wouldn't matter. So let's just see what he does here. He moves over. And now queen to... If I moved queen here, can he jump from the other board to take me on that space? His bishop could move backward to take my queen, maybe? I don't like that. All right, well, let's get his knight out of there. I could take his rook, but right now his rook is more useless than his knight. Let's get his knight out of there. And I want to bring my rook over at some point. On this timeline, look at that. Can I do something with this queen? Bring it over to this... You know what? Undo. I want to see if I could bring this queen over to this board. No, this down here has me concerned. Let's do what I was gonna do. Knight takes, and I kind of want to get. I don't want to put pawns. I could play pawn takes pawn, but that opens up my king. I don't like that. So I want to play queen takes, and that might force an exchange here. We'll find out. Okay, he played takes there, so we'll just take him back. This board is relatively safe, and this is the board that really matters. He's got 2 kings on it. Now is the time to put pressure on him. We'll play rook there, double file the E and D. Checkmate. Interesting. So why is it? Let's. The rook doesn't attack through time, so what piece was attacking it? I mean, he could have played bishop forward, right, to attack it. Let's see what it was. So the rook is checking now. The queen is attacking the king. Oh, look at that, in the past. And so I just had to keep the queen there. Look at that. Again, another happy accident. The queen on the queen bishop rook, or queen rook file rather. Queen rook 4 here. Attacked it through time all the way back here. That is something else. Amazing. Han, you're awfully quiet. I haven't heard from you in like half an hour. Are you still there? She might be on the phone. Or playing a different game. Alright. Guess we'll finish that game. That was cool. Alright. Do I have time for one more? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay. So, again, I think queen pawns safer. Hi, Brad, how are you? Let's just do that. That's a weird opening right there. Very strange. Can't go wrong with the 4 knights defense. Well, in this case, it's it's a little messed up, but let's get this bishop out. All right, I don't see any threat here. Is that? I mean, just get him out of there. Pawn forward. He's all over the place with that knight. All right, well, his rook. Just bishop takes. It's fine. Pawn takes. Well, here's the thing. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes, and his knight is nice and central. I want to keep his knight there if I can. So if he plays pawn takes pawn, I'll play maybe knight takes, and then knight takes, queen takes, and my queen is centralized. I like that better. So I'm not gonna take that pawn. Hmm. Let's get my queen up and about. I'll do something like this. Put pressure on his knight. I don't know if I like that. Reason being, if his knight comes down here and attacks my queen, let's prevent him from making use of this B5 square. So we'll submit that move. All right, his queen's whoa! That was amazing. Okay, so he just checkmated me in the past. I did not see that. Look at that. Man, those diagonals are... Alright, so that's my first loss against the CP... Oh, wow, look at that. Alright, I want a rematch. That was deadly. Look at that. Alright, well played, CPU. Well played. Well played. I want a rematch. Yeah, that... I'm noticing that any line to the king is just dangerous. I need to, like... Maybe I should just leave my... In normal chess, typically you want to move your pawns and all your pieces into the center. But in this game, it's like any diagonal or open row that leads to your king is like, oh, well, you're dead because it's in the past. You can't do anything about it, you know? So I gotta wonder if a more... a more... Like, maybe the... What's it called? The fianchetto or something, where the bishop moves here. Let's try something like that. It's a lot more closed. Let's get some knights out. Okay. Again, I think castling here might be a good idea. Then I can push these central pawns out. They would have been blocking... If I castle now and then push the central pawns out, in theory, they would be blocking an attack on the king before I castled. So I should be okay there. Or I can just move this one out. Just queen 3. Or, if I moved queen 4, get my queen out there immediately. Let's do queen 4. I'm not crazy about this diagonal, though, but again, in the past, that pawn has been there for quite a while. Submit. Well, that's fine. I could play pawn takes pawn, no risk to me. I could play bishop takes pawn. If he plays rook takes, knight takes, queen takes. That's one thing, like, rooks... typically are worth quote-unquote 5 points. But in this chess, it's like rooks don't... I think that bishops and knights can actually be more powerful in 5D chess than rooks. Even though, like, in all the chess training classes I've ever taken, knights and bishops are worth 3 points, typically. But the point values change in regular chess based on the current positions. Like a bishop on a color where the enemy pawns are on opposite colors are more powerful, so maybe it's worth 5 or 6 points. You know what I mean? So pieces do vary in points in regular chess. In this game, it seems like rooks are just tied down for a while until they actually can get out and move around a bit more. So I don't want to exchange a knight and a bishop for a rook and a pawn if I can do it. Yeah, I agree, Erisic, yeah. Rooks only start to feel powerful when you get to like 5+ timelines, because they can travel across timelines farther. Yeah, I agree. So like, I don't want to exchange the bishop and the knight for the rook and the pawn, and his queen would be out. So this is actually a bad exchange for me. Instead, I might play... I could play knight takes here, or better yet, no, I guess that's my only... Yeah. All right, fine. Now, could my knight move into the past and take that queen? I could, yeah. Typically, I don't like time jumping, but in this case, I can move forward 2 spaces, time jump backward, and take his queen there. That creates a new timeline where his queen is not there. And we will submit that move. Okay. Well, this is the present here. This knight I'm not too concerned with. Although he could play knight takes bishop by jumping into the past, right? 2 spaces forward like that. I'm tempted to maybe do something like this to move it out of the way, or I could castle kingside, effectively protecting it. That might be the better move here. The other issue, though, is this knight is now hanging. Here's the thing, though. Like, he's attacking my bishop in the past, right? And he's attacking the knight here in the present. I don't want him checking me over here. I don't like that. I'm willing to give up my knight for that queen. I expected it to die anyway. So I'd rather castle, safeguard my king, and this bishop back here. So I think we'll castle kingside and be done with it. Okay, so his knight actually jumped over to that other board, that other timeline here. All right, so now we've got 2 boards in the present. He didn't actually take anything. He just moved up here. Well, I might as well get rid of pieces over here. Knight takes rook. Knight takes bishop. His bishop hasn't moved. His rook, I mean, at this point, I could go here, then check, and then take that pawn, then down here. I could do all sorts of things in this direction. So I'll go this way with it. And over here, I don't like where this board is headed. He's got a lot of pieces. I'm tempted to castle again and just safeguard, but he's got a lot. I may want to castle queenside as opposed to kingside. Maybe get this pawn up first, or this bishop out before doing it. Or just play very defensively on this board. Maybe play bishop here. And I know that's, again, very... I don't like blocking off my king pawn like that. But again, in 5D chess, I don't want to move this and then be susceptible to all sorts of different time-traveling attacks. So we'll do that. Safeguard the queen pawn. We'll submit these 2 moves and see what happens. Okay, so it looks like he time-traveled... Or not time-traveled. He moved his rook from one board across dimensions into this one, and now he's over here. He took it. Didn't think of that. But that is actually better for me, because this board is scarier right now than this bottom one. He's queenless on this one. All I have to do is find a way to push my advantage on this one. We'll do... You know, I could do knight takes pawn. If rook takes, then bishop takes. Or I can play... Just play pawn takes. Get that queen D file open there. And move out. Alright, and then on this one... Again, I think we want to play defensively on this one, wherever possible. If I play pawn takes pawn, his bishop, or his queen can't take it because my bishop is protecting it. So I think I'm relatively safe taking it, opening up this D file. Or I can move my queen forward first, maybe put pressure on this pawn here. I could fork, if I play bishop takes pawn in the future, I could fork his queen and his knight. But this bishop is protecting it, so it's not really a fork. Not a useful one anyway. But okay, I think, again, defensively, I'm happy with that. And then I'm probably going to castle queenside on this upper board. Alright, the knight came back. Oh, so the knight went to... Okay, so the knight came out from the bottom board to the top board out here. So he's moving pieces up to this top board. It's like he's trying to put all of his eggs in one basket. I'm fine with pawn takes pawn now, because that attacks his knight. There's not much he can do about it. On this board, I'd like to get my queen along the e-file, just to maybe possibly attack him in the past at some point. You've noticed that the CPU tends to stack one board with pieces? Yeah, I'm noticing that too on occasion. I'm fine with it. I guess I just have to be careful, though, that, you know, I don't get too complacent. I guess we'll play bishop takes. Get that out. And on this board, I gotta be careful. Pawn takes pawn. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so he brought his knight down to fork my bishop, queen, and knight pawn. I could move my queen back to c1 to effectively stop that. The downside is if he plays knight takes bishop, pawn takes... Okay, I kind of want to force an exchange of queens on this board, just because I don't like all the pieces he has over here. So I think the safe move is down here. Unless there's a way to take this knight with a piece over here. I don't think there is. Where did you go, hun? You were gone for like 2 hours. You okay? She's on my Discord channel, but she's muted, so I'm guessing she's either talking to someone or she's busy or something. Alright. I think the safer move is just there. That stops my castling queenside temporarily until I can get my knight out of, or his knight out of there. Oh, you're talking to your dad. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so we'll play defensively there. Stall as long as we can. And then on this board. Oh, you ate some more of my baked ziti, huh? Okay. She likes my baked ziti. Alright, okay! Look at him go! He's got, what, 3 bishops on this board? 3 knights, 1 queen. Like, he is stacked on this board. It's ridiculous. Wow. Oh, great. Thanks for the information. And I think I need to soundproof the bathroom at this point. All right. Well, I need to push my advantage on this board while I can. So how am I going to do that? In what way can I attack the king on this board backward in time? That's what it comes down to. What is open? What? I'm looking. I mean, this e-file kind of sort of is, but there are pawns all over the place on it blocking various avenues. All right, well, let's get... Can move my knight up there, and then knight takes pawn. There's a fork. But I kind of want to get my queen out here to do things. I am concerned, however, that if I move my queen too deep into enemy territory, that he could then use a piece on this board, come back down here, and take it. So I got to be careful as to where I move my queen. Even though it looks empty on this board, he's got all of these pieces on this board on top. What is that? The L. Yeah, the L timeline. He's got all those pieces. So I think, again, I want to kind of play it safe here. If I play knight up. Or I could just play bishop takes pawn. Can he do anything from that other board? I don't see anything. I could do that. And what would that accomplish? That's not really putting pressure on the enemy king. I need to put pressure on this king. I need to open these files up. I need to get in there. So I think if I moved my queen to a spot where his knight couldn't take me from the other board. So if I move it to, say, d4, can he take me from there? No. He would be moving 2 spaces, not 1. So I'm safe there. His queen can't get me from that spot. His bishop could move backward through time? No. If it moved backward, my queen would not have been there yet. So I think I'm safe to move here. Wow, such a deep game. Every time I think I've got it licked, there's something that happens that I'm like, oh, well, can't do that. Am I getting more comfortable with the game? I'd like to say yes. But again, this game often results in, again, what I call happy accidents that, surprise me. So we'll move our queen up there. I'm pretty sure it's safe. And from here, we have to play... Oh, he didn't make a move here. Interesting. All right, we'll submit this. All right, so he played knight takes bishop. I want to exchange queens if I can. So we'll play queen takes there. And we've got this. What did he do here? He moved his rook over. Okay. All right, so I guess my next question is, if I can't play rook to d1 and then queen takes pawn, because I think he can like bring his queen to the other board and take my queen. So I think I need, instead of attacking the king in the present, I need to attack the king in the past. I think it's safer. So we need to find a way again to attack the king in the past. And to do that, I think we need to get this queen onto the E file. And in such a way to where it... But this pawn here is kind of blocking that from happening. It's either the knight can jump pieces, so maybe I need to get my knight into a position that is attacking the king in the past. Maybe by removing these pawns here. If I can get my knight over to, say... what is that? G8? If I can get my knight to G8... again, moving 2 spaces and then backward in time attacking that way would work. So if I can get my knight back here, that would be good. So I'm tempted to move this pawn up and force some exchanges and clear those diagonals out. It's just going to take a couple of moves to do it. That's what stinks. I'm pretty sure I can set myself up for a good mate here. It's just going to take a while. Like, if I clear this pawn out and put my queen somewhere on this diagonal, I'd be attacking it backward in time. And then, like, maybe 5 or 6 moves ahead on this timeline, it would eventually be checkmated. So I'm trying to set it up down here while safeguarding this upper timeline. Queen attacking d7 back in time with the passed queen defending it should work. You mean move it back in time? What do you mean? The queen, if attacking queen, if I did queen here, like if I brought my rook over. Oh, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. What is that? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. Pascu Bu. Sorry, I don't know if that's right or not. Sounds French. Going back in time 3-ish boards. Yeah, that would bring it here, right? But then bishop takes queen. That wouldn't really do much. Like, bishop takes queen, queen... I don't have enough pieces here to prevent... to really force a mate that way. And plus, I've already adjusted the timeline once. So any other past hopping that I do will not take effect, right? Because this is the original timeline. I've changed time once. My opponent has not. So any other past jumps that I make will not be an actual timeline until he actually does it. Yeah. So I don't want to time jump, basically. I don't want to dump pieces into a timeline that won't matter right now. I need to keep my pieces either jumping from board to board on the current or attacking the king, you know. Oof, goodness gracious. Let me tell you. What if I did bishop here? And then that would set it up for, well, these pawns are in, this pawn is in the way, huh? It wouldn't be able to move backward in time, attacking the king. No, this pawn's in the way. I can still set myself up. If I did pawn forward, no, that's not going to work. This pawn is a nuisance, let me tell you. Let's get it out of the way. Or I don't want to create a diagonal here. I really don't. How can I get my knight here? If I can get my knight here, right? Can I get my knight here? Pawn forward. Yeah, he's got too many pawns. Getting my knight here would attack the king in the past, and there's nothing he could do about it. So maybe I risk a diagonal attack by doing this. Forward, then pawn forward. Maybe do that. Or sacrifice a bishop to do it. Bring my bishop out here. That safeguards my king better. Pawn forward, pawn takes. I could play bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, check in the past. And there would be... I guess he could time jump, though, couldn't he? Because he's still owed one time jump. Oh, no worries there, Sick. It's fine. So the fact that he still has one time jump means that it will be an active timeline. So he could effectively get his king out of there, couldn't he? So attacking the king in the past on this bottom board, he could still time jump, and it still be valid. I don't know if I like that either. Wow, this is crazy nuts, isn't it? I still think that this bishop out here is a good move, just to get pressure on this. Again, I got to look at the other board too and make sure I'm not doing something stupid. All right, we'll submit that. See what he does. Okay, so look at that. He's got 4 bishops on one board. What is he doing? He's surrounding his king like he's throwing a party or something, I think. Hey, more power to him. Well, could he? Yes, he can still mess with me pretty good. All right. Oh, goodness gracious, this game. It's so deep. Knight takes pawn here. Wouldn't do anything. Not immediately. And he couldn't take me back from this other board, not unless he time jumped. I kind of want to get these pawns out of here, just to... I'm going to sacrifice my e-pawn just to clear that crap out. And on this board, I'm tempted to castle queenside, but I think what I want to do is force an exchange here. Keep him busy. The less power he has on that board, the happier I'll be. Okay, so he played pawn takes here. So from this position, knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes. But then his bishop could possibly jump down here to this board and take that knight. So that would not be a good move. If I can get a piece here and keep it here, like if I move my bishop, no, queen. It'd have to be the queen. If I can move my queen over here, can he take me? Yeah, his knights are there. It's crazy that his knights on this board are protecting spots over here. Yeah. Look at all that protection he has. I need a long-range assault. You know what? Like, if I try and get in close on this board, he can jump pieces over here and really mess my day up. By doing that, yeah, that pawn, there's not, yeah, I can't do that. How do I get my queen over here without getting attacked? Call the dog. Okay. Nev, is she up there? Sarah! Sarah! There you are. Nev redeemed call the dog. That means I have to take a timeout. Let me get OBS blown up so you guys can actually see the dog. Hey, puppy. There you go. How are you? She was bugging. Oh, so you used channel points to get her from annoying you. I see. What did she want? Hey, puppy. Oh, I know. Sorry for the cord. Yeah, I'm plugged in over there. You okay? All right. All right, let's go ahead and blow this back down. Sorry I had to see that. Okay, so there we go. Back to the game. She was bugging you. Has she been out? Maybe she has to go outside. Don't look at me like that. All of these pieces. Okay. How did you break through that kind of defense? That is amazing. All right, let's do this. Let's assault from long range. Let's do something like this. Let's bring our queen back here, right? And then let's get rid of this pawn. And then I'll be attacking the king backward in time, hopefully. I don't think that's going to work. I'm trying to set this up so I can attack the king backward through time. All right, let's get... I don't like this diagonal like that, but I don't have much choice. This board is just messed up. It's just messed up. I kind of want to castle queenside just to get my rook out along that open file. And then but castling kingside would probably be the safer move. It's protected by more pieces that way, so I think we're going to do that. So we'll submit that. All right, he's moving stuff forward. Here comes that. She was restless. All right, yeah, go see Ida Lee. She'll take you out. Okay. All right, so I kind of want to just... I want to push this here. Try and clear the way. Actually, you know what? If I... Now, queen here to the back rank. His knight could jump back there. No, that would not be... Nope. Nope. Can't do that. His knight could take me on h8. So, again, I think I need to continue this long-range attack. Barrage, if you will. Okay. If I move forward, though, pawn takes pawn, could he take me... I wonder if he could... Pawn takes pawn across... Yeah, see, if I play rook takes pawn, then pawn from here, from this board, would take that one. So that would not be a wise move to do that. Pawn to... I can move my pawn up here. Try and force an exchange there. And I'm pretty sure that's safe. I don't see anything that could possibly go wrong? I have to wonder at some point, could this bishop take this queen in the past? No, because this pawn is blocking. No, yeah, it would move forward, but this pawn would block it. So this bishop cannot take this queen yet. All right, and then on this board, we just have to play as defensively as possible. I'm worried that he's going to win this one because he's got so much power on this board. It's ridiculous. All right, so he took there. If I played... I have to wonder if I should jump my queen onto the other board at some point. I did not call you a second time, young lady. Well, okay, if I did this, but here's the thing. Knight takes pawn. This bishop, though, in theory, could take my knight and stop me from checkmating him in the past, correct? He can still jump aboard and stop that from happening. Likewise, this knight here could jump over 2 spaces and take my king on this, or take my knight on this board. So, like, it looks like it would be safe to do, but it's not really safe to do. I need to clear out some of these pieces. I need to force exchanges over here to the point where it's safer to move around on this board. What about this open diagonal here? Queen here checks the king here, right? And then backwards in time, that spot, then that spot. But no, this d-pawn has... So I need to wait a couple of turns and then check him here. And that would... Or just leave the queen there, right? If I just left the queen there. Like, if I did this... Check him along that diagonal. At some point, it would catch up to this board. Like, this is clear... This is clear. So I think I can checkmate him on this board by moving my queen over to this. I may want to wait a move before doing it, though. Because at the moment, this board would be here. This board would be here. And that pawn is blocking. So I need to wait a couple of turns on this board. I need to keep applying pressure on this one. Just bide my time, then move my queen over there and try and finish him off. Let's see. Oh, hi, White. How are you? Nice to see you. I may move this knight over to this other board, though, just to help protect my king for a while. If I were to do that. That's good. Glad to hear it. Or I could take the pawn here, then move it to the other board. But that runs into the same issue. Can he take me? I don't think so. All right. I think I'm safe to do that. I don't think he can do anything about that. And then... Well, no, this pawn... I think I'm all right. You watch. Bug House? Oh, yeah, I remember Bug House. Bug House was a chess variant where it was 4 players, and each one sat next to each other. And for every piece I took, I passed off to... Like, I played white, and my partner played black. And then for every piece I took, I gave to my partner. And then he could place it in place of a move. That was fun. It's been a while since I've played Bug House. Oh, man. Knight here to take this. What would that do? Could he do anything about it? Could he play pawn takes from that? No, pawns take on the diagonal. Okay. I'm worried. Again, I don't remember how pawns move. I don't think he can do anything about that. Okay. Let's just submit that move. Bishop takes. Yep. Trying to force captures if I can. And then on this board. All right. So if we moved here now on this. Trying to see how that works. If I moved here, too bad I can't see how it progresses back in time. It would be this board, right? And then that space, and then that space. In theory, it could work. Let's do it. If I timed it right, I may not have. And then on this board, let's just play it safe. Bishop takes. And submit that. Whoa! What? Wait a minute here. What just happened? Okay. So, bishop from here down here. That's not bad, but it didn't really hurt me in any way. So bishop takes. So now we're on this alternate board, but it's still part of the actual timeline because now we're caught up. We're caught up on timelines. He's multiplying his stacked timelines. Yeah, he sure is. All right. Well, I'm now this timeline has to catch up with these because the present is now back here. So I have to just try on this board to maintain the status quo for a while. Is that checkmate? Oh, no, I can do something about it. All right, just take him, right? I mean, yeah. Nothing was protecting him. I don't like the fact that my king's out in the open like that, though. I have to wonder, could I have moved... Could I have moved like a piece from here back there to help me out? I don't think so. It's just... Like that, now we're getting into some ridiculous territory here. I mean, I have no choice. I don't want to be checkmate. I could take with the knight. That might be safer. So, yeah, taking with the knight would be safer. Trying to keep my king out of harm's way. Always blocked by something. We'll do that. Okay, so now he created another timeline. So now I have to create one. If he creates any more... Well, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so original timeline, I made one. He made one. He made a second one. So any others that he creates from here on out will result in a timeline that won't matter. So as long as I just keep... As long as I don't jump anymore, I'll be all right. So I got to take this. And I don't want to be forked like that. It's crazy. All right. Here comes his queen again. From the alternate time. Yeah. So I have to... No. Knight takes. I'll just play knight takes. No need to be fancy. And I have to move this board up by one. We could play bishop takes here. Bishop takes, queen takes. But is there a way for this... anything on this board to take my queen on the g5 spot? I'm not seeing anything off the top of my head that can do it. So I think that exchange would be okay. Or again, I just play conservatively until I reach this present again. I kind of want to get my queen out to e3 to put pressure on this file here. Attack the king in the past, if I can. Oh boy. Yeah, let's do it. No, you know what? No, I think we're okay. All right, submit. Okay, so he moved his knight from this board onto this board, just across dimensions, and he's now checking me here. That's an easy fix, just queen takes, and that's that. And then on this board, what am I going to do? If I play queen to e4, that his e-file, again, at some point I'll be able to checkmate him in the past. If I go to e4, this space here, if I did that, then it would be the d5 space here. No, white's here. Here, and then here. Yeah, at some point, I'll be able to attack the king in the past, but this queen right now is blocking that. So it won't be for a couple more turns yet, but I may want to consider, moving my queen onto that file. Attack the king in the past. But for right now, I don't want to tip my hand. I think castling kingside, get him out of harm's way, might be a safer move to do. So we'll submit that. And now he's jumping. Okay, so now we've got a timeline that doesn't matter at all. I may as well just ignore this. I don't think I need to worry about it. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm going to focus on the ones that are active. The fact that he moved a knight... The fact that he moved a knight from an active timeline into an inactive timeline just effectively gets rid of the piece altogether. And it's my move. So as long as I don't move on this alternate timeline, it's stuck there. He can't do anything with it. So to me, that was a bad move on his part. So let's just focus on these two boards. And let me allow that. Sorry. Yeah, automod is weird. I don't know what... Oh, automod didn't like the word weirdo. Automod is extremely sensitive. I'm just saying. I don't know why, but yeah. All right, so on this board, again, want to move here at some point, but I don't want to tip my hand that I'm doing it. Actually, it may be okay to do it. Queen here, then here. There's got to be an easier way to see as it would travel back in time. Like if I went here, then d5. Yeah, I think there's an open path along that e-file, but I don't know if it's far and back a time enough to do it. Click the queen, then hit parallel. Oh, okay, let me try that. Undo move. All right, you said click the queen. Let me get out of this parallel view here. Click the queen, then hit parallel view. Oh, thank you. I did not see that. Okay, that's helpful. Now, I guess I need to move it first, then do that. Can I click it again, then hit parallel? No, it's not letting me. It won't let me see what could happen, I guess. Yeah, all right, that's fine. But it allows me to see, though, so one space from here. So if I were to move it here, then one up. Yeah, I don't think we're far enough out yet on this timeline to do that. So I think we still need to advance this timeline a couple more spaces, just like this one, in order to checkmate the king in the past. So I guess what I'll do is let me castle kingside just to get him out of there, just temporarily. And then on this board, we've got this bishop out here. I don't like where it is. Queen takes bishop. Let me see who's been following. King Nern, thanks for the follow. Owlclaws, thanks for the follow. Siggy Slays Dragons, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Very nice. Okay. Oh, man. Talk about... This is such an amazing game. It really is. I kind of want to get... If I play queen takes bishop here, is there anything that could take me on another board? It doesn't look like it. And I'm going to leave that timeline alone. I'm not going to really mess with that. Yeah, there's nothing he could do there. All right, so I'll submit that. We're good? We're good? Yeah, sure. YOLO. Okay, so what did he do? He played bishop takes bishop there. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So now what? Now are we in the position to checkmate him in the past by moving here? Because that's 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4. Right? So that would be 1 space on this board, then 1 space on this board, then 1 space on this board. I think we got it, folks. So if we moved the queen here, I'm pretty sure that's checkmate. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I like it too, Owlclaws. It's again, I like to say that this game has a lot of happy accidents. Just because, like, you in regular chess, you're like, oh yeah, he can move out of that. I checked him, fine, and then you end up, oh, he's checkmated. How did that happen? Oh, this other piece from over here, I had no idea it was there, and it somehow checkmated the king in the past. It's just a lot of little things like that, like mind-blown moments. I love that. It's like I'm rediscovering chess all over again. All right, so I'm pretty sure this is checkmate here. Just, again, in real time, the king would move over 1 space, fine. But the queen can attack through time, like any other piece, and I'd be attacking it along the e-file, and it just so happens that it's open for quite a ways. So I think that would be checkmate. And then we just have to advance this one forward. So maybe we'll just maybe do that. You know what? Why don't we just take the bishop? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's checkmate anyway, but if I take this bishop, there's nothing he could take it with back. By moving it here, assuming he wasn't checkmated on this board, there's nothing he could do to take it, so I might as well just go for it. You haven't been this confused since you saw The Rise of Skywalker. This took me a while to figure out, Dave, let me tell you. It's been a crazy ride the last... I think... How many hours do I have on this game right now? I have... Gosh. I have 9.8 hours on record. I don't know if that's counting this session or not, but, like, part of me hasn't scratched the surface yet of what this... There's 2 other pieces that I haven't even tried yet. There's the unicorn and the dragon. And I have no idea. The triagonals and the like, I have no idea what the heck that means. So, yeah. Alright. Oh, thanks for the follow. Let's see who that was. Doom Saki. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. the fairy pieces, if there's such a thing. Well, let's submit these moves. Alright, I'm... checkmate. Okay, so again, I'm pretty sure the checkmate happened here. In the past. Yep. So, we attacked the king along the e-file in the past. That was a pretty intense game. Look at that. That was crazy. It started off in this timeline. I branched it off. He branched it off. He branched it off again. He tried branching it off a third time, but those don't count because you can't have more than, I think, two... No. You can't have more than one active timeline at a time, more so than your opponent. Or something like that. I'm wording it incorrectly. Thanks, Outclaws. Yeah, that was crazy. You're still confused about the pawns. I understand. I'm going to link a guide that may help you with that. I'm not sure, but let me go back. I'm going to put a link into the Twitch chat. I gave this a read. Hopefully you guys can see that. And that has helped me understand a little bit better. Like, the pawns are actually... The rook is the easiest piece to understand, if you can believe it. The rook is the easiest to understand. Whereas the pawn, you'd think, oh, just move forward. You know, that's it. On a regular chessboard, move forward and then attack diagonally. Well, in 5D chess... Oh, well, wait a minute. Can the pawn attack diagonally across this board, or how does that work? So it's like the pawn is actually more confusing than the rook in 5D chess. It's weird that way. Yeah, I'm sure there's more special cases. So yeah, just to sum it up, this queen attacked along the e-file. Had we been playing standard chess without the times and the dimensions, he would move it off to the left. And that would be that. But because I'm attacking the king in the past, he has to find a way to take the queen in the present because there's no way to affect the past to stop it. So that was that. That was a really, really crazy game. And then this red exclamation point... What happened there? Oh, I guess another happy accident. Somehow, this queen up on this one is attacking the king down on this here. So I guess it was a double checkmate on two different dimensions. And what about this one down here? Triple check. Okay, so I checkmated him across three different dimensions. What do you know? So again, on this board, we're attacking the king in the past down here. Right? I'm trying to see how. Oh, because this space is empty. You see this diagonal here? Let's go into, is it history view? Yeah. So if we take a look at this queen, where it's sitting right now in the upper right, now look at the board here. There's an empty square on, was that C7? And then the queen would go there, and then the queen would jump diagonally again to this here, and is that right? Something like that. No, here, I'm sorry. It would jump to D8. Right, okay. Yeah, all these diagonals and lines are, it's like a John Madden nightmare. Arrows all over the place. Crazy stuff. Okay. And let's look at that other one real quick. Thanks, Mac, Bob, XD, and Halsdorf Paradox for the follow. Appreciate it. All right, so let's deselect that queen. Yeah, so we're attacking the king on D8 here, and then the king there on E8. And then this timeline, the queen is attacking it diagonally backwards through time here on this timeline. So it would go there, then there, and then here, and then on finally the E8 space there. So we've got checkmates going on in three different timelines, if you can believe it. Yeah, the unicorn and the dragon, I have not even tried yet. I need to like I want to understand this before I even attempt to add more pieces that I'm not familiar with. If you can, yeah, that's just my goal anyway. All right, let's do another one. Why not? I mean, there's 30 people watching me right now, according to my OBS, so I don't want to end the game or end the stream. You guys seem to be having a good time. Yeah. All right, so we're white this time. Let's go ahead and do a pawn to queen 4 opening. All right, pawn to queen 4, typical. Again, typically I would want to play like a queen's gambit, but that's bad in 5D chess because of all the open diagonals that the king's exposed to. I need to keep things closed so that I can't be attacked. So let's do like a knight, queen, bishop 3. I'm going to be jumping between algebraic and descriptive notation. I grew up with descriptive notation. That's like knight to queen, bishop 3, or bishop to king 2. The most common is algebraic, which is A1 to A3 or H5 to H. I never really liked algebraic. I've always been descriptive myself. Maybe I'm just old school, or just strange. All right, so he's bringing his queen out. Algebraic is less wordy. I agree. But I'm always like, when I'm looking at the board, like, I'm like, oh wait, where's the A file? Oh, where's the H file? I forget. I'm black. Is it A or H? You know what I mean? So rather than that, I'm like, oh, king, bishop. My mind clicks faster with descriptive than with algebraic. But then again, my brain is wired differently than most people's, so take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, like you said, it's less easier to work out. Right. All right, so he's moving his bishop up. That's interesting. I see no reason to panic yet. I want to play defensively, if at all possible. Can't go there. I'm tempted to pawn to king, knight 3, and then bring my bishop over to knight 2, and then castle kingside. Just, again, as a form of defense. And then I could bring my bishop to king bishop 4 and put pressure on the enemy queen. That would be an option. So maybe I might consider doing that. The other option is bishop here, but that blocks the d file. Like, my queen is helping to protect my queen pawn, so I don't really want to do that. Bishop here, that's stupid because the queen would take the bishop. Bringing it out here is just a recipe for maybe pawn to knight 3, or to king bishop 3, or to king rook 3, and then I have to move my bishop back anyway. So it doesn't really, I lose that tempo. So I'd rather not move my bishop out. Moving my bishop here, though, would block my king pawn, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, except that it keeps my bishop hemmed in, which is why I suggested pawn to king knight 3. So I think we'll go along with that. All right. I'm just going to scan chat real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. When I have fewer people talking, I can usually respond to everybody, so I apologize if I miss you. I'm not ignoring you. There's just some text that I don't want to read all of it, but a lot of good advice over here. It seems like there's a lot of people in chat that know what they're doing too, which is good. And the game's only been out for what, a week and a half, week. So, all right. So we moved pawn to queen rook 4. I think this is just be safe with it. Submit. It seems like playing defensively in 5D chess is the best way to go. Keep your king surrounded by as many pieces as possible to prevent your king from being attacked in the past. He's bringing his knight out. I'm worried that he might play knight to queen knight 5, which is, the b4 space. So I may play pawn to rook 3 to prevent this square from being utilized. So I think we'll just do that. Submit. All right, he's bringing his rook up, which is strange. And now we can bring this bishop out and put pressure on his queen. All right, he's pushing that up. Well, all things considered, I have the advantage here. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, bishop takes, and his queen he can't take because my knight would be protecting it. So I would win that exchange. Plus, my queen would now have access to the d file. And so I think pawn takes is the best choice here. Sure. Or what I want to take with, say, my knight or my bishop. If I take with my bishop, that would if he played knight takes bishop, I could play knight takes pawn or knight takes knight, and my knight would have a nice central position on the board. But then it's prone to pawn to king bishop 3, or in this case, algebraic f6. That would just force it right back. Whereas if I did knight takes pawn first, knight takes knight, bishop takes, his queen is being attacked, so he has to move that first before he plays king bishop 3 to get my bishop out of there. And that time I'm able to do something else with it. Maybe. Or I can just play pawn takes pawn, be safe with it. Doing this also opens the knight and queen on the d-pawn. So I think that's just the general safer move. All right, knight takes. Interesting. So I think we play bishop here. Reason being, if you put pressure on the queen, force it to move, that's one less move he has to protect his d-pawn. So that way, I think we want to take with the bishop first. That also puts pressure on his g7 pawn. Again, I'm going to be switching between descriptive and algebraic, I think, on a regular basis. But if we do this, then he has to move his queen. And when he does move his queen, then I could maybe do knight takes pawn. I could maybe do something else. Submit that. Or he could just take my bishop, which is fine with me. Okay. Submit. And this was on normal difficulty. Again, the computer isn't difficult 1-to-1, but when you deal with other dimensions, it's like it's a lot more crazy. Let me just read real quick what Hausdorff paradox said. Okay, rooks, bishops, and queens move in straight lines, but in higher dimension spaces, straight lines don't divide spaces. You have less tempo for evasive maneuver. Yep. Cool. A lot of helpful advice here. Okay. I still think we press this advantage in the middle. I've got a bishop and queen and knight on this pawn. I say we just keep at it. Yeah, so we'll do bishop takes. I think bishop takes. If he plays knight takes bishop and knight takes knight, then I could possibly fork his rook and his king in one move by taking this pawn up here. Whereas if I take with the queen, he plays bishop takes pawn here and I lose a pawn. So I may want to just do something like this. Yeah. And now I'm threatening a fork on c7 and protecting my pawn here on c2 from capture. My only concern is this diagonal. I'm not liking that. Okay, he's moved his bishop up. That's fairly safe of him to do. Typically in a standard game of chess, I might move this pawn up to protect it. But I want to keep pawns around my king if at all possible. I could bring my queen up to protect. Or I could just move it out of the way. Just move it back. I think that's, again, the safer move to do. Let's just see what he does with it. We're up a queen, so as long as we play safely, I mean, we should win. Should. Alright, I'm going to castle kingside now. I don't like where this... I don't like this diagonal here. Alright, he brought his rook over for some reason. Not really going to do much there. Let's see. I could create a timeline. I could move my knight through time and take this pawn. But I don't want to give him any ammunition to move through time and get out of mate. The more I take pieces on this board, when he moves back in time, he'll have less to work with, in theory. I think. I still want to safeguard my queen. If I moved my queen up here, for example, it's possible that his bishop could move... No, because my knight is blocking it. Okay, so it would be safe here. So as long as I didn't move my knight out of the way. But the minute I move my knight out of the way, his bishop could jump to, like, backward through time to this spot, and then through time and take my queen. And that would be, like, a couple of boards in the past. So I gotta be careful about where I place my queen right now, with all these bishops being out. And again, he could do that to my knight right now, possibly. With this one, just jump over here and take it. Yeah, I need to get this out of here. I think he could actually win that exchange. Bishop takes knight backwards in time. Queen takes. And then bishop jumps back in time again. Something like that. Sure. So let's play it safe and get let's get our knight safeguarded. And let's do something like that. Let's get our rooks out on the e-file. Maybe push that pawn further up at some point. I gotta wonder, can this bishop take my queen in the past? Just by going straight down? That would be sick. I think it can. That's what concerns me. This bishop could go dink, 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 all the way back through time. No, because the knight is... Well, no. If it were, the bishop would move here, then here. It could. It could take my queen in the past. Well, it's going to do it anyway, I think, regardless if I move it right now. So, there's not much I can do about it. Let's see, pawn takes pawn. That opens up the e-file, which is nice, but that opens up his rook right here. I don't like that. But that pins his bishop. Let's do that. Submit. All right. So I think my knight, though, could it jump? No. I don't want to time jump it. I think we're all right. Has it ever struck me odd that the game is called 5D chess, but it's really 4D chess? 2 spatial dimensions and 2 time dimensions. Forward, back, and... Yeah, it is kind of strange. It's missing that 3rd dimension, isn't it? I mean, that depth, like the z-axis. When I think 3D chess, you know, I think... I have a 3-dimensional chess set behind me. It's the Star Trek one. With the... It's a 4x4, 4x4, 4x4... And then there's little 2x2s on the outside, like in the original series. It seems to be missing that. So I think we're okay here. Rook takes bishop. You know, I think, yeah, let's do it. And let's just put pressure on that bishop. That's fine, you can take that all you want. Alrighty then, so his king jumped into a new timeline. Now he's got 2 kings here, which is fine because, yeah, I mean, I do that, I'm forking both kings. There's nothing he can do about that. That's checkmate right there. At least I'm pretty sure. Yeah. There's nothing he can do to stop that. He can't take it. Yeah. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. This is really fun. Do you guys want to see more, or are you guys getting tired? I'm up for more if you guys want to watch. I'm having fun. Thanks, Alclaus. Oh, thanks for the follow, Half Grim. Oh, I love it too. Absolutely. It's difficult to play, There's a steep learning curve, but like once things click, then it starts making sense. But then again, I call things happy accidents. Things happen, you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Somehow I checkmated him in the past 15 boards prior, somehow. You know what I mean? Oh, thanks. Yeah, I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel as well. All of my streams are exported to my YouTube channel, so that for archiving purposes. Thanks for the follow, Shavor, is it? Sure, we'll do another one. Why not? Go for it. Okay. Oh, so I'm black this time. Let's see. Well, let's keep it simple. Let's stick with the knights for right now. Knight to rook 3. Not my go-to move. Drink and hydrate. I will do that. Okay. Those channel points. You love them. Alright, let's go with, I guess we'll go with queen 4. In theory, this diagonal is safe because the knight was here before the pawn moved. So I think I'm okay. This is just a no-brainer. Bishop takes. If he plays rook takes, I'll just take back with the knight. But as I maintained earlier, I think the bishops and the knights are stronger early game than they are late game. I mean, than the rooks, that is. I think the rooks are really weak early game because they can only move in their space across multiple dimensions, or in the same one. Really? There was a guy who went to the hospital after drinking too much water from channel points? Wow. That must have been a lot of water. Like, I'm talking gallons of water. That's... there was a guy on the radio. There was a contest, a radio contest, where I think the guy had to drink a gallon of water or half a gallon, like chug, chug, chug within 30 seconds. And he actually drowned because his body couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? And they stopped doing, obviously, they stopped doing those contests on the radio. But that was back when radio was still a thing. I guess we'll do that. I hate to lose a bishop this early on, but... Thanks for the follow Parastream. Appreciate it. Wow, she lost all of her electrolytes? Yeah, that would do it. Have you solved the puzzles? Some of them. I can solve the ones that are like mate in 1. But the ones that are like mate in 2 or mate in 3, where the king can jump all over the place, like that's tough for me to do. Alright, let's see if we can get our queen to rook 5 and checkmate him in the past at some point. So we'll push this forward like that. Now, I want to bide my time with this. I don't want to jump here too early. I just want to make sure if I hit... Like, I want to move it here, and then it would move... Let's get out of parallel view. What spaces would I have access to? It would be this one here. Yeah, see, there's a pawn here blocking that right now. So I think in one more move, I can move my queen to rook 5 and checkmate him in the past. So let's just bide our time a little bit. We'll put pressure on this pawn, or yeah, on his knight. Let's just do that. All right, so he moved his knight. Okay, interesting. He moved his knight back. Now I think is appropriate. On this, it would be... So when I move queen to rook 5, that would mean this space here would be attacked. Then this space, yeah, that would be checkmate. I think. Let's just find out. Again, well, he can move his knight here in the present, but there's nothing he can do to stop that in the past. So, in theory, that would be checkmate. Yeah, there it is. We're attacking the king on this board in the past. That was a quick one. We'll do another one. Yeah. And we'll do another one. Play. I can only imagine what the computer's like on the stronger difficulties. Alright, we'll do queen pawn. Again, I think that's safer. Yeah, the more timeline jumps you make, Half Grim, the more... See, if you make a lot of time jumps and mess with history a lot, those extra timelines that you create won't matter. Because unless your opponent is creating as many as you, +1, I think it is, like, all of those extra timelines aren't going to matter. He can stall those and not move them. There's going to be situations where if you create too many, you'll have... Like, I'm black. So if I create a bunch of time jumps right now, just time jump after time jump after time jump, if I just keep doing it, I'm going to have a bunch of parallel universes, or timelines, I should say, down here, but only the original timeline and the one below it will matter. Anything beyond that will have a black arrow going to it, not a purple one. So those won't matter. And on his turn, he doesn't have to move them. He can stall them, not do anything. And they only become active when he starts making time jumps of his own to offset these ones down here. That checkmate looked like deja vu. Alright, let's just be safe here, bring our knights out. You wonder if the CPU ends up being predictable? Kinda, sorta. As someone pointed out earlier, the CPUs tends to stack pieces on one board. Like, if there's two parallel timelines, he'll move a lot of pieces from one to the other one. But I haven't played the game enough to know if it's, if he's making the same moves over and over and over again. So far, I mean, he seems to be doing something different every time. I'm not noticing, he's favoring the knight opening, or he's favoring he's favoring the Rye Lopez or the Scotch opening, or 4 knights defense. I don't see that. On this difficulty, he's doing weird things like rook pawns. That's not a typical opening in chess. Well, I think I should castle before moving this pawn up. Alright, fine. Pawn takes pawn, knight yeah, there's no reason to take that pawn right now. That just allows his knight to come out. So I'm not feeling that one. I'm thinking just bring that up. Give the bishop some breathing room here. He's bringing his queen out. Interesting. That puts pressure on my b2 pawn, so I got to do something about that. I could push it forward one. You really like the game mode that starts on a 4x4 with 2 timelines. Don't remember what it's called. I'll have to look at that. Yeah, there's a couple that there's one called like timeline. It's the one where there's 5 pawns on the one board, and he's got everything, like 10 pieces or something. And then on the other board, he's got 5 pawns and you've got everything, and you have to sort of move stuff from one board to the other board. I don't remember the name of it, but that one's pretty fun. Timeline Invasion, that's it. Yeah, it's a 5x5. There's 5 pawns on. It's like there's 2 boards, but you've got different pieces on each one, and and there's only one king, so you kind of have to move pieces from one over to the other one to get to his king, or find a way to attack his king from the other board. I don't like where this is going. I don't have much of a choice here. And I don't like how powerful this square is either. I don't like a lot. Okay, I'm gonna... No, alright, fine. I'll just do this. Safeguard. Alright, so he's taken there. Pawn takes pawn. I'm relatively safe. Queen and... yeah, we're good. I don't like how open that e-file is. I'm going to take with the knight instead. Or maybe force a queen. Just a queen takes. I don't like how that's open like that. I think that's the better move. Don't open the e-file. Interesting. What I could do is I can move this knight. No, that's not going to do it. He's blocking. Take the queen in the past. I can't because the... Well, I could. Yeah, you're right. That's a good call. Good one, Half Grim. That's really good. Yeah, I could, in theory. This space here is empty. So I could travel there and then here. Alright. I will take your advice and do that. And you say you're not good at chess? Come on. You caught something I didn't. Good job. Alright, submit move. Well, now he's just moving stuff from that board over here now. Interesting. Alright, well this is the present, so in theory we don't even have to advance this board. Just get it 4D, I see. Well, from here, I mean... We're just going to advance this board. Queen takes rook. Just to get that out of the way. I have to wonder though, could he do anything else to mess with me? I don't think so. It's those hidden time jumps that really mess me up. Now I've got two queens over here. So maybe I want to bring this queen out. Okay. Well, pawn takes knight, obviously. I don't think I need to think too hard about that one. The downside is that he's got a queen over here now, and I don't. So I need to be careful about... My king is open. I need to stall on this board for as long as possible, I think. Rook from the other board? Oh, I see what you're saying. The rook from here can take that one. Yeah, I see that. Well, I don't know if I have a whole lot of options. No matter where I go with this queen, it's in danger. Moving it here, the queen could jump through from that other board, take it. Moving it here, I guess I could move it here and both queens would be safeguarded. Like, I think that's safe. Or I can just jump through time and take this one. I think I'd do that. Let me read the chat. Take the queen on the other board. Oh, there. All right, we're on the same wavelength. I think that's the safer option there. Even the score. Oh, now he's stacking pieces on one board again. Well, let's get that. Can he take my queen here? I don't see a way for him to take that from where he is. You know, I'm gonna just get this knight out of here. I don't like where it is. And this board... What if I jumped it up to... Could I jump it? No, I can't. I was thinking maybe of... No, alright. I'll leave it. I don't want to create more alternate timelines if I can help it. let's get this bishop. Let's just exchange pieces up here just to get... I don't like that. I don't like where this queen is. It's to me, it's like I'm waiting for something to jump out of nowhere and just take me. But yeah, all right, let's just do that. All right, rook just came back there. I'm fine with it. On this board, we have to be careful, though, because if we move our queen too deep into enemy territory on this board, there's a possibility that a piece from over here could take it. Moving my bishop here... Now, he could move his bishop across the board and take it, so that's a no-go. Here's the thing. If I play... I could play queen... Well, no, can't do that. I'm going to have to move my bishop out of there, I think, just to play it safe. I could move it there. Put pressure on that. Yeah, I think that's the safest move. And I'm trying not to, like, jump too much. Now, from here, I got to figure out a way to attack the king without these other pieces over here taking me. That's going to be a challenge. I think we need to get this bishop out of here. Yeah, maybe put pressure on that, on this pawn here. All right, submit. Yep. Now he's moving everything over to this timeline. That seems to be a common thing with him. This is deja vu. Now we need, again, figure out ways to take him in the past without being taken ourselves. I think this square is nice and juicy. If I can get a bishop-queen combo here, or if I can... I want to move a bishop here or a queen here to attack the king in the past on this board. I think that's going to be the way to do it. The question is, how do we get stuff... How do we do that? Can we get rid of this bishop on this board? Let's get rid of as many of these pieces as possible. Bishop takes knight. Maybe. The more pieces I can clear out on the right side, the better chance I have at not being taken on this board over here. All right, I'm trying to read the comments. Let's see. Upper timeline, queen d1. Lower timeline, queen d2 check. d1, there's nothing protecting that, though. There's nothing protecting the queen there. And then you said lower timeline, queen d2 check. No, because that would... On d2... Here, his pawn, I think, could take this one, right? Couldn't his pawn take on that same spot? Aren't they protecting each other? The queens protect each other? I'm willing to try it. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. But the bishop, though, couldn't the bishop... If I did this, right... Well, that has some merit, yeah. So you're talking like this, is what you're saying. And in theory, this king can't take this queen because this queen is attacking it here. But what's to stop the king from... No. Are you sure that's how that works? I mean, I don't know. Is this queen actually protecting that queen? I'm not... Again, this is where I don't know about the pawn. I don't know if the pawn would be able to take this queen there, and then this king can take that one. Yeah, I don't know if that would... I don't want to lose both queens. That would stink. Like, on this board, the king would take that... Well... This pawn would move through to this board. But that would count as his move, so no, that wouldn't work. Yeah, the pawn can't take in the present because there's a threat to the king that he has to take care of here. So if he took... Okay, let's try it. You know, for the sake of the stream and for you guys, let's go ahead and try it. I normally wouldn't be that aggressive, but let's try it. All right, you guys were right. Good job. Okay, so let's just look at it. Look at all the arrows. You gotta be kidding. It worked. Yep. Good call on that one. That is crazy. Yeah. So let's look at it. Okay. So on this board, the queen is attacking the king. The king in normal chess would be able to just king takes queen. Boom. However, this queen is protecting the other queen up here. Okay? So the king just can't take this queen. Now, on this board, what can the king do? Like, what piece can be... how would we stop this up here? I lost my train of thought now. I had it in my head, then it went poof. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So I was worried that this pawn from that board, the pawn from L, this is timeline L, the top one. The top one. I was worried that that pawn could take this queen here, right? And then because there was no queen here, the king could then take this. But then I realized, oh, well, that would be making two moves. The act of the pawn taking the queen on this board would still have this king in check from this queen here. The king has to do something about this queen in the present. If it tried to go pawn takes queen here, this queen would still be attacking the king. Right? So that's why this pawn couldn't stop the protector of this queen here. It's like the chicken and the egg. Just do the move and you will see the outcome. It's not gonna... I can't click on anything. You mean... Oh, you mean take... Undo. Yeah, it's not letting me do that. I can't do pawn takes... It's not letting me do the pawn into the other timeline. Or into the other... yeah, the other timeline down here. It's not letting me do that. Can't do that. Because that queen... Like, that wouldn't be taken. Yeah, but this queen here is protecting that spot. Yeah. Pawns don't take in the present as you were doing. Yeah, see, that's... The pawns... I'm still having a hard time with the pawns. That's... I have to work with the pawns a little bit more to fully understand how they work through time. I know it's been explained a couple of times in the comments, but it's not clicking here yet. Alright. That wasn't too bad. Do you guys want to do that again? You guys having fun? Thanks for the follow, 42XEL, 42Zel, is it? That was from 20 minutes ago, though. Timeline and... Okay, let's try... What's MISC? What's the difference between MISC timeline invasion and... Is there another one? Alright, we'll do the timeline invasion. Okay, so timeline... I'm black, apparently. I don't like the smaller board, personally, but... Okay, so in this game, or in this version, we've got two timelines. one where I've got pawns on all the bottom, and he's got 10 pieces, no queens though. And then on the other board, he's got 5 pawns, and I've got 10 pieces. So now I've got to use the pieces from the one and try and checkmate his king on the other one, and vice versa. So let's see. What are we going to do? I'm going to move... I'm just going to try and be nice and... maybe do that. Actually, I'd rather move this one. Okay. And then I want to keep my bishop here, because this bishop is protecting, I think, these 2 pieces here, the 2 pawns. The way the bishops, again, move across other boards is that, think of a bishop as moving up and then to the right, or up and to the left. Well, to jump to another board, it's giving up one of those movements. So it can actually move sideways or up across boards. It's so weird. It took me so long to, like, understand that. Like, I'm like, well, why isn't it moving diagonally across multiple boards? You know, but the act of moving to a different board consumes a move, so to speak, like an up move or a right move. Let's do... I'm not exactly sure what the strategies are with this. Maybe get my bishop out. Actually, let's do that. Let's get our bishop out that way. And then submit. Okay, so he's already having fun with his time jumps. So he moved his knight back in time to take this pawn here. And again, the way that works, can we click on it? Is it going to let me? Guess not. So again, a typical knight moves in an L. So it would be like this piece here or this piece here. But the fact that he moved to a different... Yeah, the fact that he moved back in time, that consumed one of his 3 movements. So he went 2 spaces up, or 2 spaces down, rather, from where he was, and then through time to land on that pawn there. So that created this timeline. Now I'm in check. Yeah. Okay. And again, the reason being, he can... Okay, so from here, it's... So if we hover over the white knight, we can see that the next board down, he can move 2 spaces and then jump to that board, as evidenced by that green space here, or 1 space further down to this bottom board. So I'm thinking just move the bishop. All right, undo move. I think we could just, what, bishop takes? Oh, I can't do that. It's in the present. So I guess I have to move something from here? Oh, pawn... Now, this is an interesting thing. Pawn takes... Okay, so I'm attacking diagonal. This is an instance where the pawn can take... This is a pawn example. So, again, let's look at it. History view. Interesting. All right, well, that pawn, take that rook, or that knight, rather. All right, and now we're caught up with the present. This board, white still has to make a move, so there's nothing else we can do at this point. All right, now he's moving a knight from that to that. Fun stuff. So on the present, we've got the top board and the bottom board that we have to move on. The middle board here is white's move, but he chose not to do anything with it, I don't think. Okay, from here, what do we do? I don't like the fact that he's got 2 different timelines where he's got all these pieces and I don't. But if he time jumps again into the past, it's going to create an alternate timeline where it won't matter. So I kind of don't want to move anything through time. Let's put pressure on... If I put pressure on that knight here, he has nowhere to move it. at least on this. He could play it. He'd probably jump it again to a different board. Or maybe take this pawn on this board. But if he did that, I think maybe I could play bishop takes knight on that board. I think. This is crazy stuff. All right. He can't take the pawn. Oh, because oh, that's right. I'm looking at it. Yeah, this pawn here is too far away. It's 3 spaces away, not 2. Yeah, it's too many spaces. Yeah, the pawn positions have me all screwed up. All right, let's do something like that. I'm trying to support pawns, maybe even across universes. I've never made a successful pawn structure across multiple universes before. So I'm hoping if I put all my pawns on the same spot in multiple universes, they would protect each other somehow, some way. All right. I would love to play pawn takes knight, but then we've got a pawn takes pawn situation here that I'm not liking. I kind of just want to take his pawn and be done with it. Or if I play rook takes, that brings it out to do other things. Pawn moves up on the screen always. Again, I gotta stall on this board, I think. Just find ways to stall on these 2 boards for a while. So maybe just move up 1. And maybe again move up 1 there. The real action is happening on this bottom board here, but I need to get pieces over there to do it. Well, you know what? Yeah, I need to do that. All right, he's moving his knight. All right, well, that was a mistake on my part, I think. I left a pawn hanging here. Okay, yeah, that was my bad. I moved the pawn up, shouldn't have done that. The knight took it. Yeah, my bad. Nothing I can do about it, though. I have no way to take the knight from where I'm sitting. Well then, I need to get pieces up there, if I can do it. What I would love to do is get my rook here to... What column is that now? Is that C5? If I can get a column, or if I can get my... Or is that C1? Yeah, that's C1. If I can get my rook there, that would effectively attack the king on this other board. But I have to wonder, though, could this bishop then move sideways and take it? Probably. Could I bait him? Bishop takes pawn on this timeline. If he did bishop takes bishop over here, then I could play... Well, I'd have to get my rook into position first, wouldn't I? Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's not going to work. I was going to try... I want to get his bishop... This bishop here out of the way, but that's not going to happen right now. These pieces back here are kind of doing nothing for me. I need to get these pieces moved onto these boards. So I can maybe move that one here to protect that pawn. I think that would be an ideal move. And that leaves this one. I guess we'll just move a pawn up on this one. And that knight is safe. Yeah, alright, I think we're good. Bishop from lower timeline on the middle. Yeah, that's what I did. Sorry, I'm a little behind on chat here. Alright, black pieces. Okay, so he moved up. Oh, so I can en passant, or en passant, here. En passant is, I think that's Latin for in passing. So I could do that. Should I? Hello, Juan? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Thanks for the follow. Let's see. This game is something else. Like, the problem with this game mode is that it's so closed. Like, any move that you make is open to scrutiny. You know what I mean? Like, anything that you do, there's probably going to be some kind of counter for it. Like, that rook takes pawn looks safe, but, oh, there's a rook there. Rook takes rook. Done. Boom. You know, it can't do that. It's crazy stuff. I'd love to get my rook onto e1, or c1 rather, right here. But again, this bishop is guarding that square. I don't like that. White middle timeline knight was threatening to check lower timeline by moving to upper timeline. Oh my gosh. Crazy. All right. I need to get... You know what? This bishop here... If I moved it there, put pressure on the king... Like here, maybe. Right? Can he take me? I don't think the bishops can... or the pawns, rather. No, because his knight... No, his knight can't do that. Remember doing en passant in a school chess tournament and the other kid got pissed at me saying I made that rule up. Teacher came and confirmed that it was a legit rule. I still wasn't allowed to use it because it wasn't fair. What? It's a rule. That's the kid's fault for not, you know. I think it was just, they were trying to be nice, I guess. Well, I'll try it. Again, it's probably a bad move on my part. I mean, like, maybe one of these pawns can attack. Again, I don't remember how the pawns... Can I click on an enemy piece and see where it could move? Is there such a thing? Doesn't look like I can. Alright, well, I still have to move these other two boards. So maybe pawn there. And I'm kind of stuck here. I mean, I love this pawn structure, but... I mean, unless I move a pawn from... I gotta wonder if I can move a pawn from this board to this board just to delay, but I don't think it's going to let me do that. Yeah, none of these pawns are movable. Yeah, because they're all in the same spot, and they're all blocked, yeah. So I kind of have to do something like this. And on this one... Well, I'm pretty sure I'm screwed on this board. But I'm hoping that this bishop can attack the king here, and there's nothing he can do about it. We'll find out. So, I'm hoping that he doesn't know what en passant is. I think I lost this one, tell you the truth. Alright, so... Oh, because it's the pawn is blocking there. I see. Okay. Alright, so that didn't... Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking attack the king on the other board, but this pawn is blocking it. I may have to move it through time to a different board. It's under pressure here. Well, I would love to do pawn takes bishop here just to clear that out. And I need to get pieces over there. I'm thinking put a bishop here. But I don't have... No, because that pawn is... That's... That pawn's going to turn into a queen here any second. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed on this one. I could move here and check the king. Just to delay it. Move over 2 spaces. I don't think he can do anything about it. That creates a timeline, though, where... I don't know if I like that. Like, he's got to resolve that now. Ugh. This is... I think I'm going down in flames. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Oh, man. Wow. Right, if I undid that move, if I did that instead of taking his bishop, but then his bishop would just come back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to checkmate with the rook. The problem is, I'm trying to get the rook here. However, it's guarded by this bishop and king, so it's like I'm stuck there. So I want to move this bishop out of... Actually, if I move it here, wouldn't that be attacking it? No, because the rook is blocking. Arrgh! The rook is blocking that. If I could get it over here, the bishop from there would... Yeah, he's very well protected. That one. Whereas I'm not. I still think getting this guy... Wow. Yeah. Wow. Alright. Middle bishop back in time to create a new board. I don't know if that... Like, I don't know if more boards at this point would even matter. Like, it's just... I kind of want to put it here, but... Not fine. You know, let's just end this. I have a feeling this is not going to end well anyway. This knight can't do anything. Let's just get this bishop out of here. If I moved it here... Yeah, we'll just move it there. It's fine. Again, this is not going to end well. I'm just saying. Yeah, I need more pieces. I just don't have it. Yeah, he now has a queen. This is done, man. Oh, this is it. Okay. So... Pawn there. Yeah, this knight is just... It's stuck over here. It's not very helpful. This knight's been nothing but a pain. So maybe something from this middle board I could do... If I go back in time with it, no matter where I put it, though, it's not really... No. Back in time... Here. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I need a new timeline from your board with more pieces. That's part of the problem. He's got a timeline with double the pieces that I have, so it's like he's using all of these pieces to knock me out. This may be a... He's got a rook there, but he still has a rook there. Like, he's got 2 rooks now, and I only have the 1. Unless I move my king... I don't think moving my king would be very helpful at this point. Nah, it's fine. I accept loss. I accept a loss on this one. I just... There's so much going on, I couldn't follow it. So as far as, like, how to... No matter what I do, it's like he's gonna win. Maybe move my king, but just to mess with him. Not that it would matter. That's probably even worse, because there's less pieces on this board for my king to deal with, or to be protected by. I guess move my rook back down. Fine. I'll just, let's just get it over with here. Submit. Kill me, please. Alright, so he's checking me here. I could play... Undo. So I could do bishop takes queen in this here. That would stop him from doing it. And this here... I need to get this knight out. You know what? Undo. This knight needs to do something. I'm going to actually move the knight here. Get it on that board. And... yeah, here it's like, well... I wonder if it's stalemate at some point. Like, if he takes that pawn and I can't do anything, I gotta wonder if it's stalemate. If I can't make a move on a particular board. Okay. Well, pawn, that's check. He's got to do something about that. What if I mean, I might as well just take his knight. And rook takes pawn again. Jeez. Look at this. It's nuts. So he moved his rook from here to here to this. Okay. Yeah, look at all these pieces here. All right. Wow. Wow, this is nuts. I need more pieces. I don't have enough. I don't have any pieces. Oh man, it's crazy. Okay, can I jump to a different board where he's? He's got a king there. How could I attack him from another board? I don't think it's possible. He's so well protected. These bishops are nasty. Well, you know what? Let's take... let's get rid of that rook. There. I want to push this pawn to a queen, maybe. Try and force that. And... I can't do anything here, right? Is it not going to let me, maybe? Maybe I have to... Maybe it's not going to let me do that. I have to move something over here to prevent stalemate. That's interesting. So maybe just continuously check him, just to keep it moving, and then we'll try and get a queen over here. Submit. Is that check if you go up with the bishop? Here? You mean if I were to move bishop to, what is that? C2? Is that what, or C4 rather? Is that what you're talking about? He's got a pawn in front of his king, so I wouldn't be able to check him through that pawn in the past, if that's what you're talking about. All right. He's king moved there. All right, I'd like to promote to a queen. We're going to need every little bit of help we can get. And on this board, let's do that, and then I'll move my bishop here in the, yep. Okay, fun stuff. All right, queen. Here's the thing. Queen here. He could play a bishop from this board to take it. Top is checkmate with knight. You mean here? You mean in the past? If I did knight here, because it would be, he would be attacking the king on this spot here. In the past, I can see that. Moving the bishop to d2 would have been checkmate. No, moving the bishop to d2. What do you mean d2? Oh, you mean this bishop here to d2? That wouldn't be checkmate because the king could move down one on this present board, and I don't think there's any other piece that would be attacking it. b4 on top board? No, you're fine. No, the bishop here... Oh, well, there's this. I have to wonder if that would travel back in time. No, because the king was not there originally. But on b2, the king was there, right? So in theory, bishop up, up. So if I move the bishop here, wouldn't that be attacking the king here in the past? Because it would go up here, and then here. And is there a way for him to... No, his rook would take it. I think his rook can move from... His rook could move from here and take that bishop. Yeah, that rook. Dirty, dirty rat. Otherwise, I think that would have been checkmate, had I been able to do that. Moving the knight here, though, that moves, that would move it, yeah. Wouldn't that be here? And that would attack the king in the past. Is there nothing, that bishop, no, that's blocked. That's blocked. What about the knight? On a3, is it? With the knight on a3, it would be attacking the king here on this board. Right here. And I don't see anything from another board that could do it. Hi, is it... I don't know how to say that, but... Hi, Conk, how are you? Does anyone understand how it works? Yeah, there's a lot of nuances to this. It's a high learning curve. I have 5 or 6 videos on my channel that may help you. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm gonna link you. Look in the chat. I linked a guide. I didn't make it. It's on the Steam community section, and it should help you sort of figure out how the different pieces move. But I read that over, and that helped me a little bit too. I want to see how that knight works. I just want to see if that would do the trick. So what I'd like to do is get... No. Rook takes, queen takes. No, I don't think that's a smart move on my part. I'd love to move this queen somewhere where it would be helpful. If I moved it... Yeah, I still struggle. I have 10 plus hours on this game, and I still struggle with certain things, so don't feel bad. The king... If I move the queen here... But that's the thing, this bishop couldn't take it in the present. It could... Yeah. So this queen can attack the king, and... Okay, so we're going to check him... Okay, that may work as well. That queen there. And then this board... I can do en passant here. Okay. Alright, let's see... Let's see if that works. The knight did it! There's the knight! Look at that! Beautiful. Wow, I didn't think we'd pull that off. I really didn't think... I thought we were goners on that one. I mean, I'm sure had I been playing on a harder difficulty... I played it on normal. Had I been playing on anything harder, I'm sure I would have been eaten alive. But that knight, that lone knight that sat in the corner forever, came through for us. That was ridiculous. Yeah, go ahead, you can link it. I generally don't like it when, people advertise other channels on mine, but, because you guys are nice and helpful... I'll just have to manually approve it, I think. Thanks for asking, though. That's what I mean. Like, you guys asked. The fact that you asked instead of just... That's cool. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see that this community is, a lot nicer than some other ones. When did White get all of those people away from the top board? It was... Let's travel back in time. Okay. So he moved his knight down there. His bishop went to that one. And he had a bishop and rook. His bishop still there. I took his bishop. He had a rook there. His rook moved off of... Okay, so yeah, over time, he just moved all of his pieces off this top timeline onto these bottom two. Which is crazy. Alright, so I guess we'll finish that one. I was surprised that I got that. For those of you that wanted to know about the puzzles... this is what I've done so far. I have not done Rook Tactics 4. I haven't figured that out. There's Knight Tactics 4. I have not done that one. Or 6, rather. Sorry. V1 is 6. Not done that one. And the Combination Attacks 4. I have not done that one. I have not even touched back ranks, queens, kings, opening traps, tricky checkmates, or... I have not done any of these yet. I think in a future video I might cover those and try and do them. Today was just more about having fun and playing. Let me open up Twitch and see. Did you link it already? No, it's cool. I understand. There are a lot of people who don't actually, but kind of claim. Yeah, I will be honest and upfront. I don't know how this all works yet. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I fully understood what was going on. It's like any game, though. I'm a board game critic as well. I've got 500 board games almost behind me in that room back there. To say that I'm an expert at all of them, it's impossible. I haven't played them enough to be an expert at them all. I cover them generally, and I never touch them again. This game, I'll make an exception because I like chess. I have a history of chess. I played in tournaments as a kid, and I want to learn it and get good at it. So it's cool that it's cool. Like, again, those oh crap moments that, or those when things click in your head. It's a satisfying feeling. Some of the puzzles are way too easy. They can be, but I think the puzzles are more of a training tool than anything. I have not tried some of these other ones. I still don't know what to make of this global warming. What is global warming? Is this a joke? Should I just Is that a political statement of some kind, or what? The game ended in a draw. I just think that's funny. Oh, thanks for the follow. Let me pull that up. Digital Limit. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. All right. Do you guys want to see a different, like, a focused, or I don't know. I don't want to do dragons or unicorns yet. I'm not comfortable yet. Simple, no queens, just to see what that looks like. Oh, there we go. I guess we can try this, see what it's like. What's the deal with the purple lines versus the sort of inactive? Okay, so the purple lines are active timelines. Those have to be progressed. When the present reaches a board, if it's on a purple arrow like this, you have to make a move on it. Whereas if it's a white arrow or a black arrow, in this case, if I jump back in time enough, I'll start creating black arrows into alternate timelines. Those do not have to be progressed. Only the purple arrows have to be progressed. The purple arrows are the only ones that count toward checkmate, toward anything. If you make too many timelines, you'll create more and more of your own color, and those are just alternates that don't matter. So you're encouraged not to make too many, because, you know, you'll throw pieces into timelines that don't matter. So let's just, let's, as an example, let's blow this game. Let's just pretend that I'm gonna lose it anyway. Let's just throw stuff through time just for the fun of it. Let's do a regular game. Just to emphasize that. Okay, so let's go back in time. We'll move the knight there. Okay, so at this point, I've created one alternate timeline, and it branches off. I'm white, so all of my timelines go down. All of my new timelines go down from the center, whereas black all of his created timelines will go up from the center. That's what this. There's a little white arrow or a white circle there, and there's a black circle with an arrow there. The next one that I create will be a white arrow if he does not create any more timelines to offset that. There cannot be. I cannot have more than one alternate active timeline. I'm trying to word that the best way I can. Let's just keep demonstrating. Submit moves. All right, and then let's do it again. Let's just go through. Let's go through time. Actually, is that the current board? No. We'll just do a regular move there. Submit. All right. So from here, let's do another alternate. So I'm trying to find something that can jump backward in time. No. Let's do this night there. There we go. I can, let's just put that one back in time there. Okay, so this is an example. Now I've created a second alternate timeline. My first one was here on this second row, and that's the notation for that is +1L. It's hard to see, but on the right-hand side, there's a +1L. There's L, which is the standard timeline, and then +1L, then +2L. I've just now created a new timeline on +2L. Now, that's a white arrow. This timeline does not matter. On Black's turn, he can let it go and not advance it, and it does not have to be moved when the present has moved past it. So, again, we'll just keep demonstrating that. Just move that there. Okay, so notice it's Black's move on this board, as evidenced by the black, as evidenced by the black border. But he did not have to do anything with it. The present is here. So in theory, had this been an active timeline, we had to have kept playing on this board until it caught up with the present. But because this is like an alternate that does not matter, then it's just kind of stuck there. It's dead. It will become purple again should he create his own time jump. If he were to jump a piece from his side, say back in time, and create his own purple one in this direction, this white arrow turns into a purple arrow, and it now becomes active, and then it has to catch up. Yes, to answer your question, yes. Will it become active if Black time? Yes, correct. And let me do this again. Let me go through time, create another one, and I'm just trying to, just for example purposes, do stupid stuff here. Submit. Okay, so now we've got... Okay, so I wish I could undo what he just did, but he time jumped, and in doing so, created his own timeline here. That effectively made this white one turn purple. Yeah, no problem. But now notice there's two more white ones here. As the result of me time jumping, they will remain dead unless he can still move on them. Like, we can still play on them if we want to. But as the black player, he can just let them go and not do anything with them. But the minute that he does anything else with time jumping, this top one here, closest to the center, will turn purple. And then the next time he time jumps again, this one will turn purple, this bottom one. And then we'll have, like, all these active timelines going. It's a crazy thing. It really is. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm going to reset this because I have no idea what I'm doing. We'll just forfeit that one. Okay. All right. Well, it's been, I want to say 4 hours almost. 4 hour stream. I'm going to take a break, actually. I need to take my medicine and stuff. So, yeah, if you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. I do export my streams to my YouTube channel. So if you missed part of this stream, then hopefully either later tonight or tomorrow, I'll have all of this exported to my YouTube channel. You can watch the entire video and see it from the beginning. And you can also see the other videos that I've done too. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it and hope you guys have a good evening. Take care of yourselves.